All right, welcome back to Socks and Sandals. Things are a little different here. Excuse me. So, I recently saw John Wolfe. He did a video where he reviewed his 380 plus CD collection before he got rid of it. I like music, probably not any more than the average person, but I have a my CD collection isn't as big as his, but the concept of his video did intrigue me, and I thought I could try that on my own. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go through my CD collection and discuss my favorite albums within it. Um, I'll show them on the camera here. I've never done anything like this, so hopefully it goes smoothly. Otherwise, it'll just be super cringy. Anyways, so let's get started. We're doing it in alphabetical order. So, first thing first is Aerosmith. I can't see the back of the camera. This is an old school camera. Um, so there's no screen on it. But I've got it sitting right there in front of the lens, so I'm just gonna assume that it's in frame. Anyway, this is Aerosmith. This is their album Get a Grip, which is actually my favorite Aerosmith album. Um, I got I got this at FYE. Oh man, my fucking shit's broke. Well, I don't know if I can show that. Those are nipples. There are nipples on the disc. But yeah, this is my favorite Aerosmith album. I like a lot of the. Dang it! Now I can't get it back together. Like a lot of the tracks on here. Eat the Rich is really good. Get a Grip is. This one is more of an actual like rock album. Um, Aerosmith kind of has more of a blues style, but a lot of these on here are more rocky. Walk On Down isn't a very good song. I think that's Joe Perry is singing lead on that. It's okay. Definitely not my favorite. And I think Boogeyman is just like an instrumental, but a lot of them on here are really good. And of course, Amazing. Everybody knows Amazing. Dan Avidan from Game Grumps made a joke that Amazing, Crazy. Is it Crazy? I can't remember. But a lot of Aerosmith's ballad songs around this time sounded the same. Uh, I mean, kind of, but whatever. They're still good songs. So, but yeah, I like Aerosmith. I had a lot more of their albums, but when Hastings was a thing, I would just go in like every week, buy CDs, and then once I ripped them to my computer, I would then sell them. So a lot of my CD collection is gone because I would just resell them. But I mean, this is one of my favorite albums, so I hung on to it. So next, we got the Beatles. I don't think I really have these in any particular order. This one here is like a. This was released well after the Beatles had broken up. Um, it's got the song "Real Love" on it, which is a previously unreleased song that John Lennon had wrote. The they did "Real Love," and I don't think it's not on here. But they did "Real Love" and "Free as a Bird" sometime in the '90s, I think. Yeah, 1996, way down there. But I found this at Half Price Books, and I'd never heard the song "Real Love" before, so I bought it. Yeah, it's good. But I'm a big fan of the Beatles. Um, here, we'll skip that one for now. So I've got 2 copies of Revolver. This is their, I guess it's the 50th anniversary. I'm not sure. But it was when Giles Martin remastered this. I got it because I wanted to hear all of the like the early demos of it. So it's a 2 CD set. Comes with the regular album that's been remastered, and then demos of and early tracks of a lot of the singles. Because Paperback Writer and Rain, the first 2 songs there, they didn't come out on the album, but they were singles that were released at that time. But yeah, I just wanted to hear the demos on it. It's pretty interesting. I mean, this is actually the first CD I ever bought. Revolver. I was at Best Buy. This was when Beatles Rock Band came out. So I was super... I mean, I am still into the Beatles, but I was like really into the Beatles. I was at Best Buy and I picked up this and Love, and I was going to buy the Love album because I didn't know that it was not an actual Beatles album. It's that Cirque du Soleil thing, and it's just like what the hell do they call that? I guess it's remixed. Yeah, remixed Beatles songs, but I was gonna get Love because it had more songs on it. But I really liked the Revolver cover art. So I put Love back and got this, and I was glad I did because I would listen to this thing. I had a portable CD player, and I would just listen to it on repeat. But yeah, it's got Taxman's a really good song. Love the opening of it, where it's like, you know, they had just sat down to record the album, and you know, they got the count, and I think like a cough, like someone had just smoked a cigarette or something and is coughing. Eleanor Rigby's a really good song. I like pretty much every song on here. They're all fantastic. When, like I said, I used to listen to this on repeat. I'd be able to, like, if I heard Taxman on the radio, I would immediately, whoops, I just bumped the shit out of the mic. I would immediately start singing Eleanor Rigby after it went off because I would know each track. Like, you could play Love You Too, and I would, in my head, I would start singing Here, There, and Everywhere because I would just know it was coming up next. The sitar songs are probably, you know, they took me the longest to get into because it's just different. So, like, Tomorrow Never Knows and Love You Too are real, like, Eastern inspired songs, but yeah, Revolver, my favorite Beatles album. Well, one of my favorites. I like all of their albums, but Revolver, Rubber Soul, and I think the White Album are probably my favorites. So, like I said, all of them are good, but well, except for Yellow Submarine, because a portion of it is just instrumentals from the movie. So that one's fine, but and this is Beatles Anthology 1. Another thing I bought at Half Price Books, and mostly because of Free as a Bird is actually on this one, which is crazy. But a lot of they've got a lot of unreleased tracks from the early days of the Beatles, and some demos. But I mostly wanted to hear like the covers and stuff because I'd never heard them before. Let me see. Yeah, like it's got That'll Be a Day, In Spite of All the Danger, which I think is like an actual early Beatles song. Like they wrote that one. Cry for a Shadow is another one, and I used to have a Beatles CD. I think it's called The Early Beatles with Tony Sheridan or something like that, and it had Ain't She Sweet on it, Cry for a Shadow, My Bonnie, and I think In Spite of All the Danger was on there. But they were kind of like a lounge band for Tony Sheridan. They just recorded some songs with him. They're okay. They're not great, but you know, like I said, this was around when I was really into the Beatles, so I was wanting to get any Beatles stuff. So I got that. But yeah, they've got two other anthologies, but I mean, I think most of those are just demos. There may be like some other songs that weren't released before. I haven't really looked into it, but this one, you know, you don't really ever hear too much early Beatles, except for like I Want to Hold Your Hand or Can't Buy Me Love or A Hard Day's Night, shit like that. Um, yeah, and I'm just more fascinated with their start, I guess. So not a lot of people really like early Beatles. I like all Beatles, so especially Hercules. But yeah, Beatles Anthology 1. I guess I'll turn. Oh, I didn't even talk about this one. We skipped over it. So this is this was released the same time as the 8 Days a Week documentary made by Ron Howard. Um, this is the recordings from Live at the Hollywood Bowl. It's pretty good. It's just a live album, and I don't think they ever really released live albums. It's also got bonus tracks. Yeah, 20. It's got just 4 tracks. They're 2016 remix from the original multi-track tapes. I don't think I actually ever listened to those. But yeah, it's just recordings from the concert. I think they actually did have a record of this concert, and Ron Howard or somebody just sort of remixed it, got rid of a lot of the crowd noise. I mean, even here you can barely sometimes hear them because people are just screaming their fucking heads off. But yeah, it's nice. That one's actually 1964. That's a 1964 recording of Boys. A few of these are from 1964. So I guess it's 2 different shows. Or maybe that's just telling you when that song originally came out. I don't think so, because I think A Hard Day's Night came out in 1964 as well, but that says 1965. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. Whatever. It's a live album. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, that's the Beatles. Big fan of the Beatles. I think the Beatles actually jump-started my love for music. Just because they kind of have a wide range of sound, but whenever I got into the Beatles, I was trying to find any band like the Beatles, so I just started really looking for music. But yeah, moving on. So next, we have Billy Joel Armstrong. And if you don't know who Billy Joel Armstrong is, he's the lead singer for Green Day. If you don't know who Green Day is, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. They're a pop punk band. I don't know if he ever did any other solo albums. I know they had a band, I think, called Foxtrot Hot Tub or Hot Tub Foxtrot, something like that. I don't know. It was still Green Day. It was every member of Green Day, and they just did a different thing. I don't know. But this is a solo album, and it's all covers. It's all, I guess, songs he liked growing up. It's got I Think We're Alone Now, which is really good. I like that. I like that song, the original recording, but I like his cover of it. It's also got Manic Monday on here, which is a good cover. A few of them aren't, like Amigo is fine, but it's like a Spanish song. It's fine. I have nothing against it, but it's just, I don't know Spanish. It's hard to sing along to. I'm sorry. Let's see. Corpus Christi is okay. Oh, That Thing You Do is also really good. That Thing You Do is from a movie called, I think it's called The Wonders, is what it's called. It's either One Hit Wonder or The Wonders. I can't remember. Or maybe the movie's called That Thing You Do. And the band is just The Wonders. Yeah. Anyway, it's about a band called The Wonders who it's set in the 60s, and they record 2 singles, but That Thing You Do ends up becoming their most popular hit, and unfortunately it's a one-hit wonder. They don't have any other songs. The band breaks up. Turmoil, all that good stuff. Kids in America is good. That's a Muffs song. I'm not into the Muffs, but I do like Billy Joe. I think I called him Billy Joel. His name is Billy Joe. Billy Joe Armstrong's recording of it. There's another one on here that I'd never heard before that I really liked. Oh, he also does "Gimme Some Truth" by John Lennon, which I prefer John Lennon's recording, but that's cool. A New England is also a good song. I don't know who. I think the Bangles did Manic Monday, and the Wonders did That Thing You Do. I don't know who recorded any of these other ones. And The Whole Wide World is also a really good song. But yeah, I apologize. I don't know who was the first person that recorded these, but yeah, the album's actually called No Fun Mondays from Manic Monday. But yeah, Billy Joe Armstrong's solo album full of covers. Next, we have Blue Oyster Cult. And I did another video of, I think, like my top 5 bands that I don't even know if I'm still recording. I've never used this camera before. I don't know how to tell. It said I had 28 minutes, but we'll see. I may have just been talking my head off and not actually capturing video. But I did a video of my top 5 bands that didn't get enough recognition, and I put Blue Oyster Cult in it because I feel like they're a big inspiration for modern heavy metal, and not enough people know that. I believe this is their 3rd album. They had their first 3 albums all did this black and white thing, and they actually call them the black and white. The internet, Wikipedia, calls them the black and white collection or some bullshit like that. I think I can't remember what their first album is, but their second album, or maybe, I don't know, I'm getting them mixed up, but one of the albums has an airplane on it, and I think it's called Tyranny and Treaties, or Treaties and Tyranny, because this one is Tyranny and Mutation. I think it's Secret Treaties. Secret Treaties is what it's called, with the airplane. And that one actually has a cover of Steppenwolf's "Born to Be Wild" on it, which is it's a pretty decent rocker. It's also got a live version of "Cities on Flame" with rock and roll, which is really good. I prefer it much better than the studio version. But yeah, this is like I said, this is Tyranny and Mutation by Blue Oyster Cult. It's got some. Out of all of the Blue Oyster Cult albums, their most popular one or mainstream one probably being "Burnin' for You." I think that's the name of the album, and it's also the track on there that everybody knows. The I'm burning for you. That one. But I like this one because it has a lot more like heavy songs on it. Like the Red and Black OD'd on Life Itself is really good. It's fucking fantastic. Hot Rails to Hell. I'd probably have to hear that one. I don't think I ever paid attention to the name of that one. Baby Ice Dog is good. Wings Wetted Down. Yeah, all of these are. Oh, this one. No, this one has Cities on Flame with rock and roll. Dang. Also has a live version of OD'd on Life itself, which I guess I just ripped these two songs because I'd already heard OD'd on Life itself. But yeah, OD'd on Life itself is probably my favorite song off of this album. So I guess Secret Treaties only has, that I can recall. I think it's got more bonus tracks on it. I think these are like deluxe editions. This apparently came out. I don't know how I can. This apparently came out of the Blue Oyster Cult collection. But this is the only one I have. It probably came with the other two, Secret Treaties and their first album, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I really like Blue Oyster Cult. They're Burning for You. If you want to listen to Blue Oyster Cult, I recommend this one. But if, I don't know, you're not really into like, I would say, they're kind of heavy, but it's 70s heavy metal, I guess. They actually, I think it's off of Burning for You. They have a song called Heavy Metal, the Black and Silver. And I think that's one of the earliest mentions of heavy metal, like calling it that. But if you want, if you're not really into that like prog rock, Pink Floyd stuff, Burning for You is probably more acceptable. It's probably an easier listen, but I highly recommend this one because, like I said, the songs are a bit heavier. But yeah, Burning for You is a good album too. This isn't even all of them that I've got sitting over here. This is just my first shelf, but I'm probably not going to get through all of that because I've got freaking 5 minutes left. Alright, so next, these aren't in order, I do know that. Next we have Bush. This is their first album, 16 Stone. This one has everybody's favorite songs by Bush on here. Everything's Zen, Little Things, Come Down, Machine Head, Body. Oh, and Testosterone is another one. No, it's not Testosterone, it's Glycerin. Yeah, Glycerin is, these are all of the big radio hits here from Bush. I don't think really any of their albums. Dillard. It has my name on it. I think it's because I was trying to sell it back. But I don't think any of their other albums that came out actually did as well as 16 Stone, and of course My Jewel Case is Broke. I like Bush okay. Off of this one, Little Things is probably my favorite song. Machine Head's good too. But I really like Little Things. I think it's an excellent grunge song. My actual favorite album, I don't have it. This is Razorblade Suitcase. This is their second one. My favorite album by Bush is actually Golden State. They have a lot more slower songs on there. I mean, I like fast and heavy grunge music, but I don't know. Their slower songs, Bush. I don't know. I guess I like them better, but I really like Golden State. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. You take a sip of my coffee here. Anyway, I think it's called Ghost or something. I apologize for not really knowing the names of songs, but I know there are a lot of songs on that album that I thoroughly enjoyed. But yeah, this is their second album, Razorblade Suitcase. Swallowed, I think, is probably the biggest hit off of here. I sometimes hear it on the radio. But Bone Driven is also kind of good, but a lot. I don't know. Like when they play, I'll sing along to it, but it's just not very good. And I don't know what. Let's see, when did this come out? This is The Science of Things. This is 99, and Razorblade Suitcase was 96. So I guess this is their third album. And this one is just not really good at all. 40 Miles from the Sun is okay. But yeah, a lot of these just aren't very good. Letting the Cable Sleep is really good. I guess that's my favorite song off of here. But yeah, this one's just not good at all. Yeah, so I guess I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Bush. I mostly started listening to them because I really got into Nirvana, and I wanted things like Nirvana, so I got Bush. And 16 Stone, like, you like Nirvana, you'll like at least 16 Stone. Gavin Rossdale is the lead singer of Bush, in case you didn't know. But yep, that's my Bush CDs. All right, next up is a band I thoroughly enjoy. Let me see. I think because I have them on the shelf like this, so they're in order when you're looking at it this way. But trying to show, like a stack of them, they're not really in order. Anyway, Cage the Elephant. Love Cage the Elephant. Okay, so the 28 minutes was up. I was looking at the thing and I tried to get it a little more, I don't know, centered. I apologize, I'm wearing pajama pants. I know it's unsightly, but it's fucking Sunday morning, and I just had my cup of coffee, so I'm in fucking morning mode. Kiss my ass. Anyway, so we were talking about Cage the Elephant. This is their first album, and the hit off of here is, it's got a lot of good songs. What's it? Yeah. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That one got probably the most airplay. I think it's actually, from this album, the only song that got airplay. But I think every song off of here. In One Ear is a great opener. It hits hard right out the gate. I think it's about them receiving criticisms of sounding like other bands or whatever. I know when I told my old boss that I liked Cage the Elephant, he said, "Oh no, they sound like Dancing with Posies or whatever the fuck that 90s band was." But James Brown is fantastic, and of course Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. I kind of got tired of hearing it. It's the intro song for Borderlands, and it got a lot of radio airplay, but it's good nonetheless. Tiny Little Robots is okay, but I think it's that song. It's either Tiny Little Robots or Drones in the Valley that, like, it's a fantastic song, and then they do this thing at the end where it's one of them has like a saxophone thing, which I'm fine with, it's okay, but the other one has this like talking bit at the end that I just have to skip past every time. It's just I can't stand it. But Backstab and Betty is really good. Soil to the Sun. It's all every song on here is really good, except for the end of whatever that song is, either Drones in the Valley or Tiny Little Robots. I cannot remember. It's one of those where it's talking about people being robots and drones can be it or whatever. But their second album, Thank You, Happy Birthday. I think this is just Cage the Elephant. I think it's just self-titled. But Thank You, Happy Birthday is their second album. And this one is not as strong, but Always Something is really good. Aberdeen is fucking fantastic. And then Shake Me Down is the lead single. This one got a lot of radio play. It's Shake Me Down. Not a lot of people left around. Who knows now? But Right Before My Eyes, oh my god, that's a good song. Love that thing, man. It's nice and slow. Rubberball is good too. See, I like it because a lot of these songs here hit hard and heavy and fast. Shake Me Down is probably where they start slowing down a bit. But this album is a lot more experimental. Like Japanese Buffalo or Saber-Tooth Tiger. They're just weird and screamy. But Rubber Ball and Right Before My Eyes are really slow, and just the way he sings it is very melodic. They're really good. I love those songs. But yeah, I don't really like every song off of this one compared to their first album, but the strong ones really hold it together. Like Always Something, Aberdeen, Shake Me Down's okay. It's not my favorite Cage the Elephant song, but Rubber Ball and Right Before My Eyes. Love those songs. Love them. Around My Head is also really good too, but yeah, not as great as their first album. And then Melophobia. I believe this is their third album. Let's see. Come a Little Closer is their radio hit off of this one. This is spinning it like that is. It does this like black and white stripe things, and each letter is. It was just kind of hard to flip like that. It's Just Forever is a really like. It reminds me of Toadies, which we'll get to them later. But it's a real creepy song. Features Allison Mosshart. I don't know who that is, but she's on here. Cigarette Daydreams is another radio song. That one's really good. It's a lot like... damn, I can't... Rubber Ball and Right Before My Eyes. It's slower. Teeth is also another creepy song, but yeah, this one's okay. I don't really Telescope is good too. Telescope is another slower one. Telescope, Cigarette Daydreams, those are probably my two favorite songs off of here. I like It's Just Forever as well. Again, I like Toadies, so the creepiness in that is really good. But yeah, Cage the Elephant. I'm trying to think of a band to compare them to. They kind of like... I mean, I guess, I don't know, picking Posies or whatever the fuck that band is. I haven't heard a song by them, but I guess if you like them, check this out. Check out Cage the Elephant. But I think Cage the Elephant just sounds like Cage the Elephant. So, whatever. Next. Oh, my CD fell out. What the hell? Mickey Mouse nonsense. What is going on? It like, it's got a weird... It doesn't fit in there right. But this is Johnny Cash. This is the 20th Century Masters, the Millennium Collection, the best of Johnny Cash. I'm not a big country fan, but Johnny Cash is pretty good. The CD, look, there it goes. Just trying to yeet itself out of the fucking thing. Anyway, we'll have to be a little careful with this one. This has got his greatest hits on it. The night Hank Williams came to town. I love this. I love that song. It's you can just picture Johnny Cash being a young teen or whatever whenever Hank Williams came to his town, and played at the high school gym. I like that song. Cry 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 is I think I Walk the Line or Ring of Fire. Those were the three songs I knew of Johnny Cash before buying this. Long Black Veil is also really good. It's about it's sung from the perspective of a man who was hanged, and about his mistress coming and visiting him after coming and visiting his grave in a long black veil after he had been hanged. So it's really good. It's nice and slow and somber. Get Rhythm is a poppier song. That one's good. Blues Train is fine, and then of course Folsom Prison Blues. But yeah, I don't really, I'm not a big country fan. I like, some country, but Johnny Cash, he covered Nine Inch Nails, so whatever. And this one, I don't really have a lot to say about this one either. This is Cold War Kids, Hold My Home. When this came out, first was playing on the radio, and I liked that song, so I bought the album it came on. It's fine. I really wouldn't, I'm like I was saying earlier with Beatles, I would listen to it on repeat with Revolver. I would not do that with this. It's okay. I can't even. First is probably the best song on here. When they come on, because I've heard them so much, when they come on my playlist, I'll sing along to it. I know the words to a lot of the songs, but it's more of just like, I'm not actively listening to it, except for First. I'll turn it up for First, but a lot of the other songs on here are just, yeah, Cold War Kids. I don't know. This is the only album I don't know of theirs. That one was stuck to that. Collective Soul. Again, I don't know if this is in frame. I noticed I was really close last time, so I'm just kind of... Is it here? Who knows? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to do a little test. Hey, you can see it back there. Kind of. Anyway... Collective Soul. I got their greatest hits collection. They're okay. They're 90s alternative. Let's see. Shine. Shine is probably their best song. I think this is their first album, or maybe their second. I'm not sure. But Shine is their big hit. Come on and shine. Shine a little light on me. They're good. I thought December was on this. I guess not. But yeah, this album's okay. Their greatest hits was a little better. It had December and Shine, and but yeah, it's fine. I don't really have a lot to say. If you like 90s alternative, you'll probably like Collective Soul. I need to get more of their actual CDs to hear their full discography, but Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. Am I gonna talk about like soundtracks? Why not? This is this is the what do they call it? OST for the game Corpse Party. It came with the back to school edition when the game came out on the Nintendo 3DS, which apparently now is a pretty pricey game edition. Pretty pricey game. But yeah, this is just the soundtrack. It's just got all of like most of this is there's like little jingles when the chapter starts or when you die or whatever. I don't know. It it's got anime girls on it. Corpse Party's a great game. I like Corpse Party. Too bad about the second one, but yeah, it's got a dead girl on the back of it. This one. So, this is Danko Jones, a Rock Supreme. Um, if you don't know who Danko Jones is, welcome to the club. Because I started watching this YouTuber, Vinyl Rewind. I can't remember his actual name. But one of his videos, he did a review of this album. And I'm always looking for new music to get into. So I like the cover. Love the cover. But see, they're a hard rock band. I don't know. It sounds like novelty music to me, like Tenacious D or something. I don't know if they're trying to be serious or not. The lyrics are just too goofy. Let me see. Fists Up High is probably my favorite song off of here. That one's okay. But a lot of the other ones, it sounds like novelty music. Like Dance 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 and Lipstick City. I'm not into that kind of music. Tenacious D and we'll talk about them later. Ninja Sex Party. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm too pretentious, but I couldn't get into it. But I have it, so there we go. Another one. This is the original soundtrack for Dead Space 2, the collector's edition. I bought the Dead Space 2 collector's edition for PC because it was the cheapest, and I wanted the plasma cutter. Where is it? It's up here on this shelf back here. You can't see it, but way up there. I also don't want to show you that shelf because I also have hentai games on there too. But yeah, this one I can actually name a song on here that I like. Lacrimosa. It's like 13 minutes long or something. It plays on the end credits. I actually like that one. It's got violins and shit in it. Most of these are just, you don't really notice them when you're walking through the areas of the game. But you can't skip the credits on Dead Space 2, so you're kind of stuck sitting there listening to a 13-minute song, and it's okay. I used to actually have these on my Zune, and I wouldn't skip that one. Everything else I would, though. Alright. Moving through these now. We're getting into, like, single albums. Def Leppard's Pyromania. I was going to visit my mom, and I passed through Hillsboro, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to stop at Walmart here just to kill some time. And I bought this. I think it's like $5. I'm not a big Def Leppard fan. I know their hits, like Photograph. Pyromania, I think, is actually a song. Or am I just talking out my ass? I am. But yeah, Photograph. I'm gonna name the hits. Rock of Ages and Foolin' are the big hits off of here. It's a pretty good album. I mean, You know, Photograph is a rocker. Rock of Ages is also a rocker. Let me see. Are there any other songs on here? No, I can't say as I rock till you drop is pretty good too, but I guess that's the only other song besides their hits that I like off here. But I'll probably get into more Def Leppard. It's not Pyromania. What is their other one? Their more popular album, Hysteria. Hysteria is their best-selling album, I believe. But this one's pretty good too. $5, can't beat it. All right, this one I don't think anyone is going to know. The Dirty Hooks. Kiss the Devil Goodbye. Kiss the Devil and Run. Sorry, I don't even know it. I first discovered them when I went and saw Stone Temple Pilots in Oklahoma a few years ago. They were the opening band for them. And this is really good. It's like I guess they're kind of like Aerosmith. They've got a sort of like a Western sort of sound to them. It's like a mix between Western and alternative. I really like the Dirty Hooks. I think they have another album. It's like the cover of it is Atari inspired. But Midnight Runaway is good. A Dead Man's Tongue, Don't Lie is fantastic. Let's see. Against the World is a really good song. Love that song. I think it's the drummer. She's the backup vocalist, or the second vocalist. Not really backup. They harmonize. But yeah, they were fantastic. They did every song off of this album when they did the show. Their set was probably only about 30 minutes long, but man, they were good. Brought the freaking house down, I tell you. But yeah, if you've never heard of the Dirty Hooks, check this album out. Look it up on Spotify or whatever you guys do. But yeah, it's good. Dirty Hooks. I need to get more of their music. Next, you know them. You most definitely know them. Next up, we have the Foo Fighters. I got this at Half Price Books for $6. It's kind of steep, actually. This is their first album. This is right after, unfortunately, Nirvana disbanded because of Kurt Cobain committing suicide. And I think this was Dave Grohl's sort of response to that. He made this album. For a first album, like compared to modern Foo Fighters, this one's great. My issue, I'll discuss it more when I actually start showing those albums, is a lot of modern Foo Fighters sound the same, and this one it's different. Like a lot of the songs sound different from each other. This Is a Call, I think sometimes gets airplay, but Big Me off of this album is probably the most popular song, gets the most radio play. The music video is like a Mentos spoof. But I'll Stick Around is good. A lot of these, they're not my favorite Foo Fighters songs, but they're still pretty good. Alone and Easy Target, I really like. My favorite song on here is For All the Cows, though. I really like that song. It's weird. It's rocky. It's a great song. Now, again, these really aren't in order to show. Where they really made it big, though, is their second album. Dave actually did all of the instrumentation on this one. Guitar, drums, all that good stuff. vocals, of course. But I think this is when the band came in. Taylor Hawkins, Pat Smear, I think Shifty. I think Shifty was with him at that time. Maybe, I don't know. Um, I know Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins and Pat Smear. That I can say for certain. But this is their second album, The Color and Shape. Every song on here is a hit. Is great. Um, Monkey Wrench, probably their biggest hit off of here. Let's see. My Hero is their other one. But, oh, and I think Everlong is on here too. Yeah, Everlong. Great. But yeah, every song on here is good. I really like My Poor Brain. Um, let's see. Walking After You is probably the weakest song on here, actually. It's slower, but I guess it's fine. February Stars. Oh my god. I only first discovered that song playing Rockman. I bought it as DLC. February Stars does not get enough recognition. The thing is creasing. But yeah, great sophomore effort. Fantastic album. This one has a lot of slow songs on it too. Doll, See You, Walking After You, but Everlong kinda, but you know it picks up the tempo a little bit. Am I gonna go through all of the Foo Fighters? I guess I have to. This is their third album, Nothing Left to Lose. This one, I actually got this one at FYE too, brand new. This one has Learn to Fly. Foo Fighters like doing really extravagant music videos. This one features Jack Black and Kyle Gass from Tenacious D in it, and Dave Grohl in drag for the Learn to Fly. Stacked Actors, I first heard that, I think in Guitar Hero Greatest Hits or something. And I didn't like it at the time, but after buying the album, I actually like it. Breakout is in Lego Rock Band. I really like Gimme Stitches, and Learn to Fly is the lead single, but I really like Gimme Stitches, Generator, Aurora. Let's see. Headwires is really good too. Ain't It the Life? I think Ain't It the Life is Taylor Hawkins. I think that's... Or it... I think I'm talking out my ass. I know Taylor Hawkins sings lead on one song. I think it's Ain't It the Life, though. Let me see if it'll say it in the liner notes. If there are liner notes. Okay. It doesn't. There's no liner notes. Never mind. I think he sings it. I think he sings lead on there, though. I'm going to go ahead and just say that. You heard it here. Taylor Hawkins sings lead on Ain't It the Life. And apparently that's people's least favorite song on that album, but I really like that song. Now, this is my favorite Foo Fighters album. Every song on here is a banger. Rope is like classic Foo Fighters. White Limo, they went real, like, it's nearly screamo on that one, but I really like it. Arlandria, and then of course you've got These Days, one of their biggest hits, and then Walk. Walk is my favorite Foo Fighters song. The music video for that one is a spoof on, it's some movie. I can't remember. Seth would know it. But he's like stuck in traffic and he decides to get out of his car, learning to walk again. I think I've waited long enough. Where do I begin? But yeah, love Wasting Light. This is, I think, peak Foo Fighters right here. Some would probably say Color and Shape, but I really like Wasting Light. And then that's where it starts going downhill. I'm just going to go ahead and show all three of these because, like I said, Foo Fighters have, I guess they found a formula and they've decided to stick to it. So, Concrete and Gold and Sonic Highways. I need to have a timer or something because I'm just not paying attention to when the fucking thing runs out. Anyway, so Sonic Highways. They did a documentary of this, and they also, Dave Grohl was doing something weird and goofy. He decided that he was going to travel across the United States and record a new song at different studios. There's actually a little side note. They have alternate covers for this. This is the one I got. But yeah, they went to, we can look at it here. I'm going to try and show it. New York, Tennessee, what the hell does that say? Louisiana, Chicago, Wisconsin, I think it says, no, Washington, sorry, I fucking can't read. Seattle, and Hollywood. I thought they also went to Texas. I thought they recorded one in Dallas. Anyway, so they went to all these different states. Yeah, they did go to Texas. The sticker is way the fuck back there. Yeah, thanks, Foo Fighters, for the recognition. But yeah, they went to all these different states. I went to different recording studios, which is a great thing in theory, but not really any of the Feast and the Famine, I think, is the only one that really got airplay. But they're fine. It's definitely not my favorite Foo Fighters album. It's also not my most hated. That goes to, I think it's All for One. It's the one with the heart on the cover. I don't have that one for obvious reasons. A lot of those songs I just don't like at all. I don't know what was going on with that one. I think The Pretender is the best song off of that album. But this one, I don't know. Like I said, this is when the Foo Fighters found a formula, and they just, every album they make after Wasting Light is just gonna, a lot of the chorus, it's just chorus, really. It's just all the same thing, like their new single, Rescue Me. I'm glad Foo Fighters came back to make a new album after the tragic death of Taylor Hawkins, but Rescue Me, or Rescued? It's either Rescue Me or Rescued. I can't remember, but it just ain't it. Something for Nothing is another good one. I guess that's probably my favorite song off of here. But it's not stand out. It doesn't do anything great. Compared to Wasting Light, it's just eh. But the same as for Concrete and Gold, I prefer Concrete and Gold over Sonic Highways, and I think I prefer it over Medicine at Midnight, their last album that they did. This one, I think they had it produced by some pop producer, like someone that does like the hell's her name? Lady Gaga or something? I don't know. But Sunday Rain, I really like, and that one has Taylor Hawkins on lead, and Paul McCartney plays the drums on that song, which is really cool. But T-Shirt is, like I said, it's the chorus. That's the whole song is just chorus. T-Shirt, Run, Make It Right is a heavier song. The Sky is the Neighborhood is the song that got airplay. But see, Dave Grohl will sing a verse, and then he sings the chorus. And then pretty much the rest of the song on these last three albums is just the chorus being repeated again. Sky is a neighborhood. Don't look down. La Di Da is real chunky guitars on that one. I think my least favorite song on here though is Happy Ever After. Again, he just repeats the chorus. I don't know. Come on now, Dave. You've been around. I guess he's just running out of material. I don't want to get mad at the man. I love Foo Fighters. I love Dave Grohl. But he needs to have a ghostwriter or something. I've just now decided that I'm going to peel this sticker off. Because, I don't know, he's just running out of things to say and sing about. But for Medicine at Midnight, I heard Waiting on a War and was like, what in the world? This is just not good. It sounds like a 3-year-old wrote that song. I'm sorry, Dave. But I think one of the lines is, I've been waiting on a war since I was young. Since I was a little boy with a toy gun. What is that? What is that? Never really wanted to be number one. Just wanted to love everyone. What is that? Dave, you did not write that. You did not. Anyway, Medicine at Midnight, not a great album. I will be getting the new Foo Fighters album when it actually comes out, but so far, Rescue to Rescue Me, it just ain't it. It's not it. Alright. Eventually we'll get through this whole stack here. Alright. So next up, we have... Try to do some order again. The Grateful Dead. This one is a weird one. Grateful Dead are a 60s psychedelic rock band. You really wouldn't tell that by this album. This one sounds more like a southern rock group like Lynyrd Skynyrd or Creedence Clearwater Revival. This is our first album. What the hell is it called? Is it just called The Grateful Dead? Yeah. Yeah, not really anything stand out on this one. Beat It On Down the Line is okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing, no real standout track on their first album. But, yeah. Their second album is where they decided to just drop acid for a few hours. I think this only has 4 songs on it. This is Anthem of the Sun. But yeah, it's only got 4 songs on it, and that's the thing about Grateful Dead is, let's see, it doesn't have the there's just one song called Feedback. Doesn't have the length, but they're like 7 minutes long. Grateful Dead, they love the long songs, love them. This one's got some schmutz on the back of it. But the first song here is That's It for the Other One, and it's got 3 little like tempo changes or whatever it does throughout it. They actually on Netflix, there used to be this thing they had this series they had of like talking about people making records. Def Leppard's Pyromania had one, and this one had one. And the producer, he was talking about it. I think it's on... It might be this first part. That's it for the other one. First song. The band wanted him to record the sound of just air. And he's like, what? And there's a bit in the song where it's just air. I was like, what in the world? But yeah, they just dropped acid and made this. This one's okay. Again, it's It's only got 4 songs, and each song is like fucking 12 minutes long. Alligator is probably the best song off of here. But yeah, that one's the early Grateful Dead isn't really what I'm into. They're fine, but not really the kind of music I like. Now, we'll get to my favorite, but I don't know what. This one's 78, and this one is 68. So this one came out 10 years later. This is Shakedown. This is Shakedown Street. And I think this one, yeah, that one's 87. Shakedown Street is a really good album. A lot of these songs are good on here. Shakedown Street's good. France, I think they do a duet, or is it Serengeti? No, Serengeti is an instrumental. But Stagger Lee is like kind of like a, what is that? It's something like Jeremiah was a bullfrog. It's kind of like that song. It's got the same sort of vibe to it. And yeah, Minglewood Blues is pretty good. But Shakedown Street is probably the best song on here. Fire on the Mountain is like a damn like a Bob Marley track. I was trying to think of that sound, that genre of music that Bob Marley does, but I couldn't. But yeah, Shakedown Street's pretty good. But my favorite Grateful Dead album is In the Dark, and this one is probably their most mainstream album. Touch of Grey is the radio hit, but I really like Tons of Steel. It's about a damn train. 500,000 tons of steel, I think is the line. Throwing Stones is another hit, or another single, I guess. But yeah, West LA Fadeaway is also pretty good. But yeah, I really like Tons of Steel. The Grateful Dead, they're not for everybody. They're really not even for me. But I've gotten a few of their albums, so I guess I'm a fan. I guess I'm a Deadhead. Rest in peace, Jerry Garcia. Because that continues on to the second shelf. So, let me see how much time I got left. Oh, we're good. We got 15 minutes. So this is Green Day. This is not their most recent album. This is Revolution Radio. This, because for a while Green Day, they did the Uno Dos Tres, which is fucking crazy. He decided to do like 3 albums within a year. Those weren't very good. Uno was okay. Dos is probably the best out of that trilogy, and I didn't even buy Trace because the songs I heard off of it were just straight trash. So after that, they did Revolution Radio, and to me, this is a return to classic Radiohead. Well, I guess more around American Idiot Radiohead. Somewhere Now is fantastic. I love every song off of here. Still Breathing is their radio hit. Ordinary World is... It's just a slow song. Really, really good vocals from Billy Joe on there. Yeah, Revolution Radio is good. Forever Now. But Still Breathing is probably my favorite song off of this album. I mean, there's a reason it got played on the radio, I guess. It's just really good Radiohead. Have I been saying Radiohead? Damn, Green Day. Oh my god, I hope I have not just been saying Radiohead. It's because it's Revolution Radio. But Green Day, I like I used to not like Green Day, actually. I did not like them at all because I was only hearing songs off of American Idiot. And I don't know. I didn't like American Idiot. What is another song that September Ends, which is funny because to me, I think I sing in the same key as Billy Joe, but whatever. Yeah, I didn't really like those songs off of American Idiot until I heard Dookie and what is it, Insomniac? The one that has Brain Stew and Geek Stink Breath. I think it's called Insomniac. And then I is when Green Day Rock Band came out. I was playing Green Day Rock Band with Nathan and another buddy of mine, Brandon, and I actually got into Green Day. I still didn't really want to listen to 21st Century Breakdown, but I mean, that one's an okay album now too. But yeah, I like Dookie. I think I like earlier Green Day more than I like modern Green Day. I haven't listened to their, I don't even know if it's the most recent album. It's the most recent album I know of. The Father of All Motherfuckers. I heard a song off of it, and it's like they were like, okay, we will satiate people's want for older Green Day, American Idiot Green Day at least, with Revolution Radio, and then they're like, well, we're going to go back and do Trace things. Based on that song I heard. I'll probably end up getting it just to, give it an actual chance, but I don't know. But Green Day. Their old Green Day is fantastic. If you like pop punk, I actually don't like Blink-182. Green Day is my favorite pop punk band, and you can fight me on it. Alright, so I'm going to take a break now, and we will come back for the second shelf of CDs. And we're back. It's actually been a few weeks since I last recorded for this. I already got the second stack of CDs here, so I guess let's just go ahead and start that. I don't know, I just have this set up on like the tiniest tripod ever, just on the back of my fucking computer desk, so I don't know. I need to like get a mirror behind it, and then I can actually see what y'all are seeing. That would be cool. But anyway, starting off the next shelf is Half Moon Run. This is actually their second album. I don't know if they're still doing music. See, the last time I did this, she did not bother me once while I was doing it. Come here. Yeah, this is their second album. I don't know if they're still doing music. I haven't done any research. So their first album is Dark Eyes. I actually went to a Of Monsters and Men concert, and Half Moon Run, it's got a little trifold here. Half Moon Run was the opening band for them, and I was impressed. Their first album, it's just like typical alternative indie rock stuff. I prefer their second album. Let's see. Here, I'll turn it so you can see. Consider Yourself is a really good song. I can't read it upside down now. Let's see. Narrow Margins is good. Sun Leads Me On, which, is the name of this album, so it's the title track. Sun Leads Me On is really fantastic. Trust is good too. But yeah, if you like Of Monsters and Men or Band of Horses or Band of Skulls, those like soft indie rock alternative sort of bands, then you'll probably like Half Moon Run. Yeah, they were good at the show. I should have got their autograph because the band was like selling the CDs after the show. I should have just got their autograph when I don't think I bought their CD. Yeah, I ended up just buying the album off of Amazon. But I saw them at the booth at the end of the show. I ended up buying a Monsters and Men t-shirt, but I saw them at their booth selling shit and fucking missed out on that. But yeah, Half Moon Run. Not really a lot to say about them, but if you like soft indie alternative, you'll probably like them. So next up, this is George Harrison's Brainwashed. I got this at... I keep forgetting exactly where I need to be. I think it's right there is the sweet spot. I got this at Half Price Books. I believe this is his last album. It may even be posthumous. It's 2002. I think George Harrison died in 2001. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's posthumous or not, or if it was just his final album before he passed. But if you don't know who George Harrison is, he was one of the 4 Beatles, and he died in 2001, I believe, to brain cancer. I think it's cancer of some sort, but I don't know for sure if it's brain cancer or not. But this album's pretty good. Definitely, this came out in 2002. I believe this was his last album. If it wasn't released posthumously, it was definitely his last. But Any Road is okay. It's definitely not my favorite song. I don't know how to describe it. He definitely had, he was into the Hare Krishna sort of stuff, which I'm not, but to each their own. But a lot of his songs have that vibe, sort of like P2 Vatican Blues. Pisces Fish has sort of a vibe that it's like some sort of religious song. I mean, Pisces, it's that fucking stupid ass astrology shit. I actually like that one in spite of all of that. It's got a weird... The chorus is just strange. Looking for My Life is good. Rising Sun is okay. I don't know. A lot of... Like, again, it's a weird sound. I don't know. But it definitely sounds religion inspired. Marrow Blues is actually a instrumental. It's pretty good. It's very soft and relaxing. Let's see. Stuck Inside a Cloud. Stuck Inside a Cloud is good. I'm reading these upside down. My favorite song off this album is Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. It's just like, I don't know, kitschy, but I like it. And Brainwashed is pretty good too. It's definitely got like religion inspired lyrics. It seems like people are brainwashed unless they're following this religion. I don't know. I would like to believe that he's also saying that because he follows that religion, he's been brainwashed as well. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm not George Harrison, so I'm not going to just assume shit from his lyrics. But yeah, George Harrison's 2002 album Brainwashed. I need to get more George Harrison. I've got tons of John Lennon solo stuff. Unfortunately, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr just aren't my cup of tea when it comes to their solo work. But I did get George Harrison's greatest hits, which a lot of the songs off of his greatest hits, I think it's Let It Roll, are on this album. So I think it was Marwa Blues, Rising Sun, Any Road. Those 3 were on the Let It Roll Greatest Hits album. So I like George Harrison, all right. Uniqua Shaquan. All right. So next up, let me check and see how much we got left on here. I think it's like 28 minutes, so we should have 18 left. Yeah. And I apologize for this stupid cracking ass chair. I'm fat and the chair is cheap, so it's just popping and cracking because it probably can't hold on much longer. Anyway, so next up we have Hatsune Miku, or Miku Hatsune, however, it's Hatsune Miku is how it's typically worded. But Hatsune Miku, if you don't know, is a Vocaloid, which is kind of like the VTubers, except with VTubers, it's a voice generated by a real person, and the anime girl on there is just some avatar. But Vocaloids are computers, and they created a character to go with that computerized voice. I got this because I played the Hatsune Miku, one of the rhythm games that came out for PS4, and it has the song. Also, a lot of these are in Japanese. I know very little Japanese. So I'm not going to be able to read all of it. But it's funnily enough, however that is said, my other favorite, I literally just thought Yellow. I like that one. But yeah, I think it's music from the Project Diva game. That's what it says here, Project Diva. It's a double album, so it's got 2 discs with it. 2 discs, and this little Project Diva Extend is actually the thing. But yeah, I mean, if you like anime or watch anime in some form, Dragon Ball Z, whatever, Demon Slayer, or all the ecchi shit, you probably know who Hatsune Miku is. She's popular, so. But yeah, unfortunately, I really can't say. Just Be Friends is a good song. There it is. It's track 17 on disc 2 is Iavin Polka. Oh, it's not Hello World, it's Hello Planet, because it's spelled Pureneto. Hello Planet, sorry. There's also a few Christmas songs on here too. Anyway, Hatsune Miku. Computerized anime girl. So, yep. So next up, we have The Head and the Heart. Again, indie folk music. I believe I heard Ghosts. I don't know what album this is. I don't know if it's their first or what have you, but it has the song Ghosts on here. I heard that on 91.7. There's a gnat in here. But I heard it on 91.7, not to be confused with 97.1, which used to be the Eagle, but it is something else now. I think it's the Freak. Yeah, I heard Ghosts on the radio, and I absolutely love that song. It's a duet song. I don't know who the 2 people are singing it. I'm assuming they're both in the band, because this is a woman here, and there's a woman singing the song, and I'm assuming that's a man in the sheep mask, or lamb mask, whatever. But, yeah, Ghosts is really good. Rivers and Roads is good. And Heaven Go Easy on Me is really good. I'm sorry I don't have any better adjectives. Fantastic, terrific, stupendous. Uh, it's a well written song, fun to sing along to. But yeah, I want to assume this is their first album. The Head and the Heart is Charity Rose Thielen. Oh, Charity Rose Thielen, Chris Zach, or Zachi, and Jonathan Russell, Josiah Johnson, Kenny Hensley, and Tyler Williams. Cool. And this is, I'm just going to say their second album. I cannot say for sure. It's the second album I bought from them. I believe when this came out, it was their newest album. I think I saw it at Walmart or something. Let's see, when did it come out? 2016. Signs of Light. I actually... So, I'm to the point now, when I buy new music, I just put it on my Zune. I know that is old-fashioned in and of itself, but I just let it play. Half the time, until I've heard the song enough. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, that gnat on my hand. Until I've heard the song enough, I just sing along. I don't... Got it. I apologize, though, for that loud bang. I don't know the song. I don't know the song name. And nothing jumps out at me on the back of this looking at it. Of what songs are good or not. But... yeah, the Head and the Heart. If you like Of Monsters and Men again, or Half Moon Run, or Band of Skulls, bands like that, you'll probably like The Head and the Heart. Highly recommend listening to the song, at least Ghosts. Ghosts is fantastic. Next up, we have something a little weird. This is James and the Shame, Human Overboard. Which, if you don't know, this is Rhett McLaughlin of internet fame, Good Mythical Morning. The duo, Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. This is his solo country album he came out with, called James and the Shame. Human Overboard. You know, I don't really watch Good Mythical Morning anymore, but I like music, and he played, so they uploaded the, I guess, music video for Believe Me, and that is a fantastic song. If I heard that on country radio 99.5 The Wolf, and didn't know who Rhett McLaughlin is, or was, I would just think that was a really, really good country song. And it is. It's a good country song. He wrote this during his deconstruction of his faith. If you could just not be in frame. Just stop blocking the camera. I think it's about to stop recording anyways. Now we got another 6 minutes. Anyway, he wrote a majority of these songs. I think either during or after or whatever the deconstruction of his faith, which was, I don't know, Pentecostal or something like that. Anyway, so a lot of the songs have to do with religion. Sometimes it's just too much for me. Like, Flash of Rationality is a good song. Give a Damn is a really good song. Sorry is kind of a little a little sappy, but I get it. I don't like Kill a Man. He says he wrote it because he wanted to write a badass country song, but it just meanders. There's like chain cracking, and his wife does this little opera thing that's cool, but I don't know. It's just too slow for me. In Vain, I really like. Fruit, obviously, is the fruit of life. And Old Letters is definitely like heavily sung with Christian lyrics, but yeah, it's an okay country album. Believe Me is a fantastic song. In Vain is really fun to sing along to. And a lot of the songs on here they're okay country songs. But I definitely don't think I would hear them on country radio. Believe Me is definitely the strongest single off of it. Flash of Rationality is poppy and okay. But good job, Rhett. He can play guitar. Now, next up, please get down. Please get down. Down. Next up, we have James Bay. It's another musician I heard on 91.7 KXT, I think it's KXT, Music Supporter Radio. And I heard the song, I believe it's Hold Back the River. I heard that song and had to buy the album. I love that song. It's a fantastic song. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so wide. Stop for a minute and be my own side. Yeah, it's good. And the whole album is fantastic. Hold Back the River is good. Keep moving the mic by moving the desk. Best Fake Smile, I love that song. Let me show you all this. Best Fake Smile, love that song. There's another one that got played on like normal radio, but I think it might be Let It Go. Anyway, Best Fake Smile, really good song. Move Together is fantastic. He's more of like, I don't know, I guess R&B, I don't know, poppy, but Need the Sun to Break, I always turn up whenever it comes on my shuffle, but yeah, James Bay, he came out with another album a few years ago, it's been a while now, and the song Pink Lemonade played on the radio a lot. I can't even remember it now, but I know I heard them say Pink Lemonade by James Bay. He's good. At least this album. Like I said, I haven't heard the second album that came out, but I really like this one. So this is, and no one has seen the video I did, but this is the Joy Formidable. I did a video of my top 5 bands that don't get enough recognition, and this was one of them. The Joy Formidable, I went to a Silversun Pickups concert, I think in 2016. I didn't even stay for the whole show, and I believe the Joy Formidable were the first. It was all day. I got heat stroke. Well, I didn't really get heat stroke, but it was hot. I was tired. I didn't want to stay for the whole show. But I can't remember what songs they played, but they had a decent enough sound for me to want to go home and look them up. And I actually, so this is, I think, their first album. They have an EP but I believe this is their first actual like full release, and it's The Big Roar. The notable songs off of this one before I move on to the actual first album I got for them. Ever Changing Spectrum of a Lie is the opening one, and it's a fantastic opener. So, ice cream truck is outside. The Joy Formidable have this like weird sound. They're kind of like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, but they're definitely strange. And Ever Changing Spectrum of a Lie is just a weird song. Austere is really good. The Heavy Abacus. I mean, just by the title of the songs, you can definitely tell they're just a little strange. But yeah, this is their first album, The Big Roar, which is actually the most recent album I bought from them. But the album I started with is Hitch. I don't know what album this is in their discography, but it's the first album I heard of theirs. And Second in White is a banger. Radio of Lips is another banger. But my favorite song on here is The Last Thing on My Mind. So it opens up with like the band like getting ready to record the song. Just a little snippet of them twiddling about with a tambourine, and the lead singer says she's just going to play the melodica for 20 minutes or something like that. But it's a fast and heavy and guitar driven song. Love that song. The Gift is a really slow song. It's just melodic and relaxing. But yeah, there's a lot of good songs on this one, but The Last Thing on My Mind is definitely my favorite. And then the second album I bought from them, which I think is the newest album. Actually, this came out in 2016. So when I went to go see Silversun Pickups, Hitch was their most recent album that had come out. And Wolf's Law is the second album I bought from them, and it came out in 2013. So 3 years before Hitch. This one's okay. It's got some decent songs on it. This Ladder Is Ours is good. Bats is another really strange song. Mama song. I think Mama is just the sound. I think it's like this just background sound that's constantly made throughout the song. And then they just named it that. The Hurdle is pretty good. And the Turnaround is pretty good. But yeah, if you like Silversun Pickups, or let's see, what's another heck even Head in the Heart, or Half Moon Run, you'll probably like The Joy Formidable. If you like Cage the Elephant, or like I said, Silversun Pickups, they're weird sounding bands. They do a lot of strange and different things with their music. Joy Formidable does a lot of strange and different things with their music. So if you like bands like Silversun Pickups or Cage the Elephant, you'll probably like the Joy Formidable. Because I do. I like both of those bands, and I like the Joy Formidable. Next up, we have Kings of Leon. This is their first album. I bought this at some flea market in Mesquite. So when I bought this, I just found it. I was like, oh, Kings of Leon. I know Sex on Fire and Be Somebody. So let's give them a shot. I don't know if you can hear the ice cream truck outside, but it is like rolling right up on my house. So I bought the album because it's $2 according to the sticker on the front. Crawl I like. Crawl is my favorite song on here. Reverie is also really good. Um, it's actually a really fantastic album. I know that when I was in high school, people like made fun of Kings of Leon. I don't really know why, but this is an actual really good rock album. Manhattan is like a slow chill song. It's probably not slow, but it's definitely a chiller song. And of course, Be Somebody, Sex on Fire. Those are their biggest hits. But I love Crawl. Also, no, it's Use Somebody. Be Somebody isn't the song, it's Use Somebody. There's two songs on here that have somebody. I know it's the guy with the gift below. I can't. What is the name of that song? It's not Cold Desert. I also can hardly read this. There's like the font is weird. Anyway, there's some song on here where I think the plot of it is like a girl is like doing porn and a spit, a choke, something comes back for more. I don't think that's the actual lyrics, but let me see if they've got a lyric, a liner note here. Like a gag, a choke, she spits up and comes back for more. That one's a good song too. I just can't think of the name of it. Anyway, Kings and Leon's first album. It's got good songs on it. And this is their, I guess their most recent album. I don't know if they've made one since this. This came out in 2021. This was at the like the beginning of all of the fucking NFT bullshit. I bought this because I thought, oh, they're not gonna do a full CD release. So, because I thought that was what the NFT was, is that you bought this album, but I don't know what the NFT. They did NFTs. Kings of Leon did, and this was their new album that came out. The name of it is When You See Yourself, and the first song is When You See Yourself, Are You Far Away? I can't really say if there are any good songs on this. Again, I've just put music on my Zune and listen to it on shuffle and don't pay attention to what the song is. So, by the names on here, I don't know. So I'm guessing they're not that great because I know that Crawl is good on this one. So I heard it and was like, oh, what's the name of that song? So I guess none of these are really that memorable. But Kings of Leon, and really not that memorable. But I don't think they deserve to be hated. I think their music is fine. So next, like I said earlier, let me see if I can get these in order. Yeah, I guess in the order that I have them. Because I don't have all of them. So next up we have John Lennon. So earlier we had George Harrison, one of the Beatles. John Lennon is another Beatle. And I watched on Netflix, I think I mentioned it earlier with Def Leppard's Pyromania. Netflix used to have little documentaries about famous albums. And there was a documentary about John Lennon's, I believe this is just called Plastic Ono Band, which he later started releasing music as John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. But I guess I think this is his first album after the Beatles broke up. I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Imagine might have come first, but whatever. The documentary was good. John Lennon was struggling with some stuff, and so the first song, "Mother," he wrote for his mother. It's a very heartfelt song. You can feel his pain. His mother passed in a traffic accident. She was struck by a car, but that one is a fantastic song. Um, it's definitely got not the best songs on it. Working Class Hero was on that Billy Joe Armstrong solo album. No, he covered Jealous Guy. Sorry, he has also covered Working Class Hero. Um, Working Class Hero is probably the most well known song off of this. Um, it's not my favorite song. My favorite song is either Mother or and I guess it is Mother. It's I guess it's at the end. Uh, Mama don't go, Daddy come home. Yeah, it is Mother. So I guess my favorite song on here is Mother. The rest of them are pretty good. I Found Out is okay. It's kind of like Cold Turkey, but Isolation is good um, until like the end. Love is actually really good. I guess my favorite songs are Mother and Love. Love is real, real is love. Um, but yeah, John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. This is actually the 2010 remaster. Next up is Mind Games. So after I bought this at Hastings, so after I got Plastic Ono Band, I started looking for more John Lennon. And I got this at Half Price Books. This is Mind Games, and it came out in, this is 2020, this is 2002 remaster. This one is not as good. They're all great songs to sing along to, but they're just, I mean, I guess because he was a Beatle, I want his songs to be on par with Beatles songs, and they just aren't. I guess Intuition is probably the best song offered here. I don't know if this had any. I don't hear any of these on the radio. Only People is okay. But other than that, it's alright. Yeah. It's an okay album, but not John Lennon's best work. Oh, also, forgot to mention, this is actually a variant cover for the album. There's another cover where Yoko Ono is resting on John Lennon's lap. I have the one where John Lennon is resting on Yoko Ono's lap. So I don't really know if that has any importance. This is John Lennon Rock and Roll, and this is a full cover album. It's pretty good. Not the greatest, but it's really good. His rendition of Stand By Me is fantastic. You Can't Catch Me is a fun little, it's fun to put your foot down to in the car. Don't speed, though. You Wanna Dance is alright. Slippin' and Slidin'. They're all pretty much 50s songs. Ya Ya, they actually did, way back with the Beatles, I mentioned them doing a little, I think the album's called The Early Beatles, with Tony Sheridan, and he covered Ya Ya. I don't know if he wrote the song Ya Ya. I think it might be a Ray Charles song. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But on that album, they had the song Ya Ya, which just a little trivia thing there for you. But yeah, it's, you don't really. I guess he just didn't have material. And the way I like to see it, it can be that he didn't have material, but I like to think of it as his tribute to the songs that he loved growing up. Next up, this is the most recent John Lennon album I got, and this is Man Love Avenue, or Men Love Avenue, which I believe was like just a street he lived on. And this one's pretty good. I don't know a lot of the songs on it. I haven't listened to it enough. Like I said, it's more recently acquired. Old Dirt Road is a good song. And Since My Baby Left Me, I mean, I think that's another cover. Since My Baby Left Me. But, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. Apparently, this one is... I don't know if it's hard to find or... I was reading about it, but I guess it just didn't sell well. I believe this is one of his posthumous albums. It's a lot of unreleased songs, I think. I don't know, because it came out in 1986. So it's more than likely a posthumous album, because he died in 82? I'm not sure. He was assassinated in 82. He didn't just die. He got gunned down in the street like a dog. Terrible. And this is his collection, which I bought at Half Price Books. It's got Give Peace a Chance, Instant Karma. Whatever Gets You Through the Night, I believe, is duetted with Elton John. It's also got The Happy Xmas War Is Over on it, Imagine, Jealous Guy. It's got all of his top radio hits. Cold Turkey. So, like I was saying, when I watched the documentary for the Plastic Ono Band, they mentioned the screaming that he did for Mother and compared it to the screaming he did in Cold Turkey. Which, when I was a kid, I heard that on the radio a few times, so I was familiar with it, but I wanted to compare them myself, and I found this at Half Price Books and saw it had the song Cold Turkey on it, so I got it. I prefer the screaming on Mother as opposed to Cold Turkey, because on Cold Turkey he does a little like heavy breathing thing at the end, and I'm just I don't think it sounds good. But the rest of the song of Cold Turkey is really good. I think it's about going cold turkey, about getting over addiction by just stopping, and how unfun that is. I wouldn't know. I've never been addicted to anything but caffeine. So, but yeah, John Lennon. Alrighty, moving along. This is the soundtrack to Life is Strange, the first one. The first Life is Strange. I found the Life is Strange limited edition at some game store in Mesquite. I think it's called Game Trade. And when I noticed it came with the soundtrack to Life is Strange, I had to have it. Because that game has probably one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. So these are all like... Most of the songs on here are by actual bands, and then the second half is the score for the game, which these are all really good songs too. These are good songs to if you're working on something, maybe drawing or reading a book. These are good songs to put on to just relax to. Life is Strange 1 had a very chill soundtrack, and I love it. But I also love all of these songs that are copyrighted. My favorites have to be To All of You, which is the opening song of when she's walking through the school. Kids Will Be Skeletons is really good. Another chill song. A lot of these, you could probably put this whole album on and just relax and read a book or something. Probably the most like jarring song is It plays during the party scene at the pool. Alt J is also on here. Nope, it's not Obstacles. That one's really good too. But, I'm trying to... I thought it was the last song that played on the album. It's I typed it in as Get Well Soon, but it's Got Well Soon. Got Well Soon plays during the pool party scene, and that's probably one of the most upbeat songs on here, and it definitely sounds like a party song. Kind of sounds like Paralyzer by whatever that band is. Not really, but I don't know. Whatever. It used to not be my favorite. I couldn't stand listening to it, but with listening to the whole album, I've gotten used to it. I've grown to like it. But yeah, all of the like the actual score for it, it's just a good album. If you come across Life is Strange Limited Edition, you could probably listen to this on Spotify or however modern people listen to music. It's a really good listen. If you like all of those other bands I went through, Joy Formidable, Head in the Heart, sort of indie alternative like that, Dirty Hooks, you'll probably like all of this that's going on here. Because it's good. It is a fantastic album. This also feels light, but there is a CD in it. I was kind of worried because I thought my CD was missing. Alright, so next up, we have the band Live. Or Live. I believe it's Live. This is their first album, which is good. But the first time I heard Live is with their second album, Throwing Copper, which has people's favorite songs on it that I cannot remember the names of now. So hold on. Lightning Crashes is one of them that people know on the radio. Lightning crashes in old Mother Dime. But yeah, it's got Lightning Crashes on it. Their other I Alone is another one of their popular songs, and then All Over You. So this is when I was getting into Nirvana, so I was wanting to get bands that sounded like Nirvana, Toadies, Stone Temple Pilots, stuff like that. So I think I heard it like on the radio or whatever, and I was like, ooh, that sounds like Nirvana. It's probably I Alone. So I bought the Throwing Copper album, and it's a good album. It's the Damn at Otter Creek. I'm having to actually look at it on my computer here. Damn at Otter Creek, Lightning Crashes is a fantastic song. Iris is a good song. I like Shit Town, just because it's crass. But yeah, Live's album that I don't have, which is Throwing Copper, but this is, what is it? Mental Jewelry. Oh, it says it right down there. Mental Jewelry. This is their first album. It's definitely, I'd probably say it's heavier than Throwing Copper. They kind of sound more like Stone Temple Pilots, but not as heavy as Stone Temple Pilots. They sound like a more... They sound like a grunge band in this one. 10,000 Years, Peace Is Now is pretty good. Let's see. The Beauty of Grey is my favorite song off of here. Live, they're okay. This is, I don't know if they're still doing music, but this is the album that was released after the lead singer, I think he got fired from the band. Apparently he wasn't a very nice man. But I want to mention, before talking about this one, Live, they're like a Christian rock band. A lot of their lyrics are Christian, like themed, and but I think it's most like Throwing Copper. You can hear it too, but the Birds of Prey album, because Prey is spelled Pray, is definitely heavy on the Christian ideology. And Songs from Black Mountain, which is the album that came out before this, and that came out in 2006, and this one released 2014, I believe. Yeah, or was five? No, yeah. So, Songs from Black Mountain was their most recent album before this one, and it's a whole fucking 8 years after. So, but yeah, Birds of Prey and Songs from Black Mountain definitely had like Christian lyrics in it. And I don't like Josh Groban. I don't like songs that sound like Josh Groban. And if it's a Christian song, like they did it really well on Throwing Copper. By the cover, you can kind of see the Christian themes. It's like a man standing on a precipice, looking out over it, clutching a Bible to his chest, with his followers behind him. So they hit it well on Throwing Copper, but I don't know. I guess he fell hard into his beliefs with Birds of Prey and Songs from Black Mountain. So it was just kind of off-putting. I don't really like... Sophia on Songs from Black Mountain is actually a good song, though. It's probably my favorite off of there. But I'm just not down for that. So anyway, Live, I think this is called Wrong Turn or The Turn. Live The Turn. So I guess it's the turning point for the band because old what's-his-face left. Let's see if we can actually figure out his name. Nope, it doesn't say it on the back, and I don't want to really spend the time to investigate further. But they got a new lead singer, and this one sounds more like the typical, like Breaking Benjamin or bands like that. It sounds like that. It's okay. It's, it's better than Songs from Black Mountain. Siren's Call is the first song off of it. And it's probably the best song on it. Don't Run to Wait is also pretty good. The Way Around Is Through is a okay song, but overall it's not great. But I don't know if they're still doing it. But I have a lot of lives. I don't have very many of their CDs. These are the only two I have, but I have purchased nearly all of their CDs. Their second, or Throwing Copper is their second album, so I guess it's their third album, released in 1997. Secret Samadhi is actually my favorite album by them. They've got a lot of heavy hitters on that, and I do mean heavy. But Live, you've probably never actually heard of them outside of those songs I mentioned earlier. They're okay if you like grunge. This is a weird one. So where I work, someone threw this away, and it's live at KDHX. It came out in 90 something, I think, or early 2000 something or other. But apparently KDHX is a radio station in Los Angeles, and all of the songs on here are like folk songs. They're actually pretty good. There's actually the only band I know on here is Drive By Truckers. That's the only band I've ever heard of that out of all of these on here. Drive By Truckers. is the only band I've heard of. But they're pretty good folk songs. That's all I really got to say is it's folk songs. Someone threw it away. Again, I like music. I put it on the radio at work, so I brought it home, and I own it now. And next up, we have the Lumineers. This is their second album, Cleopatra. So I got their first album. It was when Ho Hey or Hey Ho, however it goes, was really popular on the radio. And Ho Hey is a good song on that. What is... See, I can't... I've been talking too long. I can't think. I have to actually pull them up. Ho Hey is... Yeah, it is actually Ho Hey. Big Parade... I don't really know the sound they're going for. It's kind of like 50s sort of sounding, but Ho Hey, Big Parade, they're definitely like big band sort of sounding songs. Except for Ho Hey. Ho Hey is like pop. It's like Mumford and Sons. It doesn't really sound like anything else on the album. This Must Be a Place. This Must Be the Place. I think that one also got radio airplay. But I don't know. Not a very impressive album. It's actually listed as country on my computer, which it really isn't. But this one, Cleopatra, plays on the radio a lot, and so does Ophelia. This is their second album, like I said. Gun Song, I like. In the Light, I like. Gale Song, I like. But, I don't know, the Lumineers, they're no James Bay, or... Later on, I don't know if he's in this. I don't know if I actually bought a physical copy. I might have. Hopefully I did. Hopefully I didn't sell it. But later on, Shaky Graves, if I do have it, he's no Shaky Graves. The Lumineers are not. But they're okay. The folk sort of sounding band. They're okay. Next, a band you have never heard of, more than likely, Texas band The Long Shots. I got this signed because I learned my lesson from Of Monsters and Men, and when I saw the band at their booth selling their CD, I had, I believe, the guitarist and the lead singer sign it. The drummer was in the bathroom or something. But... it's like a garage band. They played at Dia de los Toadies, I think, in like 2014 or something. 2016. This, if you don't know, if you're not from Texas, this is Big Tex. And several years ago, Big Tex at the State Fair caught fire. And their album cover is a photo of Big Tex on fire, which I think is a fantastic album cover. You know, if... you saw this on the shelf at some record store in the 90s, you'd probably buy it just from that badass cover. RIP old Big Tex. He has been replaced. There is a new Big Tex there. He does still wave and say howdy to you. But yeah, it's definitely a garage rock band. Snakefoot is one of my favorite songs off of here. My Sweet Lime is a weird sort of rocker song. I think The Chase. Yeah, The Chase is my favorite, though. I really like The Chase. It's definitely, I can imagine that being in a car chase scene for some action movie. But yeah, they're a garage rock band. They released another album after this. It's a pink cover. I don't know the name of the album, but I don't think they're a band anymore. But yes, the Long Shots. Garage rock Texas band. Next up is one of my favorite bands. I say that, and I'm not going to be very eloquent when I speak about them. And they are also in my top 5 bands that don't get enough recognition. It is Marcy Playground. So, like I said in that video, you may not know who Marcy Playground is, but you know the song Sex and Candy. I smell sex and candy here. You may have thought that was Nirvana or somebody, but no, it is Marcy Playground. This is their first album, just simply titled Marcy Playground. Poppies is fantastic. They are another weird sounding band. Sex and Candy, of course. Ancient Walls of Flowers. Again, I'm having to read this upside down. Ancient Walls of Flowers is they I guess they really like the novel series. It's not called The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's one of the books in that series of books. But because they actually have a song, I don't think it's on this one, called The Ballad of Aslan. I think that's on their Lunch Recess and Marcy Playground. Lunch and Recess, I think is just what it's called. But Poppies is a good song. You've probably heard that one before as well. Opium, I guess they had a thing going here for Opium. But Opium's good. One More Suicide. Dog and His Master. It's a pretty good first album. Vampires of New York. They, like, when they sing, you can imagine the story they're trying to tell. Is just, I guess, what I got to say about them. Their second album is probably my favorite, though. It's, I think I like pretty much every song off of here. It's Saturday is good. America kind of makes me feel glad to live in America, I guess. But Bye Bye. My favorite song on here, though, is Wave Motion Gun. And I guess another song about heroin. But I really like Wave Motion Gun. Shapeshifter, I believe, is a song on here as well. It's the title of the album, but I think Shapeshifter. No, I am mistaken. Guess I'm not as big a fan as I thought. Pigeon Farm sounds like another Nirvana song. But, yeah. Shapeshifter is my favorite. And their third album, this is just MP3, Marcy Playground 3. Spoon-Fed Alphabet Soup, or Blood in Alphabet Soup. Spoon-Fed, Blood in Alphabet Soup. Rock and Roll Heroes I really like. Flag and Finger. I like that one because I don't particularly care for words. I don't particularly care for censorship in general. Especially, but yeah, I don't really care for censorship in general, so I definitely like that one. Punk Rock Superstar is good. Death of a Cheerleader is sad. But Barfly is good because at the end it has a little hidden track of him telling a joke, which I think is funny. But yeah, their third album, probably not my favorite, but it's still a good album. It's still Marcy Playground, so I like it. And then So this is, I think this is actually their last actual album. I wish this follows my hands. Look, I'm almost done. Come here. This is their last album. I wish it didn't have this library sticker on here. I bought it off of Amazon, and I guess they stole it from a library. This is, I believe, Escape from Wonderland. Leaving Wonderland in a fit of Leaving Wonderland in a fit of rage. My favorite song on here is Down the Drain. Every time if I had the talent, I would like to make an animated music video for that, but I don't. But I love Down the Drain. Emperor is good. Burn the Bed. You're my star, baby. That one's okay, but Gin and Money is really good. Devil Woman. This one's probably better than the third album. It's an EMI, which is crazy. I didn't even notice that. It's also got a bonus track called Special. I had a physical copy of the Lunch and Recess, or I think it's Lunch Detention and Recess, or Lunch Recess and Detention. Anyway, but when I bought that off of Amazon, it didn't have the actual CD in it. I don't know what happened to the case. I ended up just buying a digital version off of Amazon and ripping or burning the songs to a blank disc and just keeping it in the case, but I don't know what happened to it. But that one's a pretty good album too. It's a lot of like previously unreleased tracks, and it came with a remix of the song Sex and Candy. Next up, we have a various artists CD of 10 of modern rock's best. Modern rock. And I bought this at Family Dollar. Used to work at Pizza Hut, and I was up there getting canola oil and saw they had a CD section, so, and this was right at the front, so I grabbed it. Probably the only bands you'll know on here are the Presidents of the United States of America and Korn. But you know, a lot of these are actually pretty decent songs. Weird Out is a good song. Molly, 16 Candles. If you watch my Achievement Hunt Horse for Forza Horizon 2, I used that song as sort of like a little music video sort of thing. I like that song. I guess it's 16 Candles. It's by Sponge. I've never heard of them. But it's got Lump by the Presidents of the United States. The Big Burn is a weird ass song, but I love it. It's fucking stupid. Jump in the Water is a good song. Blind by Korn is a pretty good song. Walk This World is a pretty good song. I mean, they're good songs, but I had never... The only song I heard on the radio is Lump. That's the only song out of all of these I've ever heard is Lump by the Presidents of the United States of America. So I just... It baffles the mind on how this is modern rock. 10 of modern rock's best. I don't know. I guess I just had to be alive when these came out. When they played on the radio. I was probably alive, but... 95. I was a year old. Wow. Whatever. Anyway. Modern rock's best. So here we have The Naked and Famous. Their song, I believe it's Youngblood. Let me just... I think it's Youngblood. I believe the song Youngblood got radio play. They are, which is surprising for me because I didn't used to like the sound. They're more electronic. But I like the sound of Youngblood. Punching in a Dream is good. Um, See, this is another one where I only recognize the songs that I really like. But they're a pretty good electronic band. And when I bought the Joy Formidable, the Big Roar, I was like, another band I haven't really listened to is the Naked and Famous. And I think this was one of their more recent ones. It came out in 2016, so not that recent. It's a little different sounding because I think the only... So their first album had like 4 people in the band. And at this point, there's only 2. And I think the only returning member is the lead singer, The Lady. I don't know any of their names. And when I listened to this one, I was worried they went the same route as Live. Started doing more Christian lyrics. But I think that's just me. It does not sound as good as this one. I don't know if it's because the other 2 band members are missing or what, but it's just not as good as their first album. But, let's see, what is... Last Forever is a pretty good song. Higher is a good song. I guess that's why they have it as the opener. But, yeah, the Naked and Famous, if you... they're more electronic sound. This one actually has a cut in it. I think that signifies they weren't supposed to resell it or whatever. But I own it. I bought it off of Amazon. Again, they're electronic, more, I guess like Avicii would be a band similar to them, or... I'm trying to think. Like I said, I only recently got into that sort of electronic sound. There's a YouTuber. People liked using his song. What was it called? Not Dandelion or something, but he's kind of similar to them. It was a meme song for a while, and now I can't. I used to know the name of it. Dang it. Next, so we're nearing. So these are the last 2 of the second shelf. Next up, we have Ninja Sex Party. So previously I said I don't like. I also don't know if I'm still recording. Okay, I got 4 minutes. Let's do this. Previously I said I don't like novelty bands like Tenacious D and Ninja Sex Party. And I still don't. But this is their Under the Covers album. So it's all covers. And I think they've done like 2 more cover albums, and I've listened to a few songs off of them, and they just don't sound good. They do Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard, and they've covered some other songs. I think, not Africa, Down Under. I come from a land down under, and they're not good, but I like all of these covers off of this one. And I think this came out before Take On Me was a meme, and Africa. Is Africa on this one? No. Where I could swear Ninja Sex Party covered Africa. Huh. Maybe not. I might be thinking of Weezer. But, yeah, Take On Me is a really good song. I actually prefer this version over the Aha version. Jump by Van Halen. It's a good cover. I think... So, Ninja Sex Party, Dan Avidan of Game Grumps fame. Oh, he likes Rush. And I think there's 2 Rush songs on here. Subdivisions and Madrigal, I think, are Rush songs, and I don't like Rush. So those are definitely my least favorite songs on here. But Ninja Sex Party did a pretty alright job covering songs. Dan can sing. I will give him that. I just don't like his sense of humor. So I like his cover songs. Alright, so real quick, Nirvana. This is the Sliver Best of the Box. These are all like previously like unfinished songs by Nirvana. I like Nirvana. Nevermind, Bleach, In Utero. They have another album, Incesticide, which I don't think very many people know of. I guess it's like a posthumous album or something. And they're pretty good. But Spank Through is a good Nirvana song. Heartbreaker is a Led Zeppelin cover. Sappy, which came on the 20th anniversary edition of Bleach. Smells Like Teen Spirit boombox version. When I downloaded this, I only downloaded the songs I'd never heard before, so I skipped over Lithium, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are. I don't know what a boombox version is. It's got 2 different versions of Rape Me on here. Heart-shaped box. Do Re Mi is good. You Know You're Right. I think there's a Nirvana Greatest Hits that they ended up releasing that on. But yeah, Nirvana, Sliver, Best of the Box. I like Nirvana. Grunge rock. Everybody likes Nirvana. Anyway, so that was the second shelf. So we'll be back for the third shelf later. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so starting off shelf 3, the final shelf, we have The Offspring. I moved the camera up. I don't know. I'm still figuring this out as I go. I sort of look at the videos and review them after doing it. But we have The Offspring. This is, I think, their most recent album. It came out in 2021. This is Let the Bad Times Roll. It's okay. Definitely not the best Offspring, but it's got some good songs on it. Let the Bad Times Roll is okay, the title track. Let's see. I think it's something about pills or something. There's also a acoustic version of Gone Away, which is okay, but I prefer the original version. The Opium Diaries, I think, is the one about, I think, like, the chorus is something, I don't know, I haven't really listened to it that much, but the chorus is something about, it'll get better and, you'll be okay, something like that. That one's alright, but yeah, as far as, like, this is just instrumental in the Hall of the Mountain King. I think they normally play that around Christmas, but it's okay as well. But yeah, not their best album. My favorite Offspring is Ixnay on the Ombre, of course Smash, their breakout album. They've also got, I think, their first 2 albums, I think, are just titled The Offspring. Their first album, I think, came out in, like, 1989. No, their second album is Incinerate or Inferno. It's something to do with fire. Here, hold on, and I'll look at my media player. Ignition. Ignition is their second album. But Smash and... What in the world? Why? This is not all of my Offspring. What? Why do I only have 4 Offspring albums on my... Oh, it's probably because one is sorted The Offspring. Yeah, and the other is just Offspring. Days Go By is a good album, but Rise and Fall, Raging Grace is probably my favorite. My all-time favorite. And, of course, Smash, with their 2 biggest hits, Self-Esteem and Come Out and Play, Keep Them Separated. But yeah, this is an okay album. Not the greatest Offspring has to offer. But if you like Nirvana or Smash is probably their closest to sounding like grunge as you're gonna get. Um, they're more of a punk band. If you like Social Distortion or I wouldn't say Anti-Flag because that's like really punk, but more of like a pop punk like Blink-182, Green Day, Social Distortion, bands like that. So next up we have probably one of my favorite bands of all time. Like right after the Beatles and the Toadies, we've got Of Monsters and Men. And way back, I think it was 2012. Yeah, this album came out in 2012. The song Little Talks came on the radio. And I fell in love with that song. I don't know exactly what it is about it, but I think it's like the duet, like where Nana, I think she's Icelandic or Swedish or something, so I can't pronounce her last name, and unfortunately I don't know the male lead singer's name. Let's see, and I don't even know if her name is actually Nana. Oh, well, this little insert here is written in a different language. But I like how she'll sing a line and then he sings a line and then for the chorus, they harmonize. It's just a really good song. I like I want to say it's like a creaking ship or floorboards, sort of like a background noise. But this album, My Head is an Animal, is fantastic. When this came out, I would just constantly listen to this. Me and my friends would be riding in a car, and if an Of Monsters and Men song came on the radio, which the only ones I think they played on the radio are Dirty Paws, I think King and the Lionheart, and Little Talks. So whenever one of those songs came on the radio, I would tell everyone in the car to shut up because I wanted to listen to it. But I love this album. If I had like a top 10 album list, this would be somewhere in the top 10. Fantastic album. And if you've never heard of Monsters and Men, you need to check this one out. Their second album, Beneath the Skin, not as great. Better than their third album, but it's nowhere near My Head is an Animal, and for some reason mine has this big old crease in it. Probably because I stack them on the shelf and there's just too many. Hopefully I didn't break the CD in here. Well, how do you even open this freaking thing? And one thing that it bothered John Wolfe as well, but it bothered the hell out of me. He would open a lot of his CD cases and there would be a CD in it. Probably because he had them in some sort of CD binder or something. But yeah, Beneath the Skin isn't as great. Crystals was the big radio hit. I think Slow Life is probably one of my favorite songs off of here. I haven't listened to this album in forever. Thousand Eyes is so for these first two albums they would have a song that would have just sort of like a canon, I don't know how it's pronounced, where the music it just plays like the same few notes over but builds in intensity. And Thousand Eyes is that song, and on this one it's Yellow Light. And when I first heard Yellow Light, I don't know, it kind of, I didn't like it, but I used to work at Walmart as a cart pusher, and I would just walk around with my headphones in, and for some reason in that environment listening to Yellow Light, I grew to like it more. So I appreciated Thousand Eyes because it was similar to Yellow Light. But yeah, I think Slow Life, Thousand Eyes, And of course, Crystals is probably my favorite songs off of this one. And then next, I say recent, but when did this come out? Like 2019. What is this one even called? Fever Dream. This one, fans didn't really like. It went with more of the current, like. So these two albums are more folk, like Mumford and Sons, or I think it's The Passenger or Passenger Passport, something like that. They're more folk, like modern folk, and this one is more like pop electronic. So I can see why people didn't like it. I like it okay. It definitely isn't this. It's not My Head Is an Animal, but you know, I can appreciate a band wanting to try a different sound. And this one also has a crease in it. Alligator is the radio hit. Let's see. Stuck in Gravity is a good song. Under a Dome is a good song. I do like Under a Dome and Stuck in Gravity, and of course Alligator, because you know that's the single off of it, so that one got the most airplay. But yeah, of Monsters and Men, if you like Mumford and Sons or Passenger, I think it's Passenger. If you like, hell, even the Lumineers. The reason I got Lumineers is because I liked Of Monsters and Men. The song Ho Hey was on the radio. It sounds similar to this sort of style of folk music, but they are not Of Monsters and Men. And, of course, Half Moon Run opened for them at the House of Blues, probably 2012, 2013. It was probably 2012, because I just discovered this album and was like, well, I'm going to their concert. And I still worked at Walmart at that time, so it was somewhere around there. But yeah, Of Monsters and Men, fantastic band, one of my favorites. Make more music. Pearl Jam. I'm an okay Pearl Jam fan. I like them all right. This is Rearview Mirror. It's like the side says greatest hits from 1991 to 2003. I bought this because it has the song Yellow Ledbetter on it. And that is the only song on here that skips. The sole purpose I bought it was because I liked the song Yellow Ledbetter, and I couldn't even listen to it. But all the other songs on here are pretty good too. It's got Alive, Jeremy, Even Flow, Black Circle, Corduroy, Daughter, Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town. It's Pearl Jam greatest hits. Not my favorite grunge band. I'll probably put them above Bush, but not anywhere near Nirvana. I like them all right. I probably should actually get some albums by them. I actually have cassette tapes. I have, I think, 2 of their albums on cassette. But that's because I found them in a box at work. So someone was throwing them away. But yeah, Pearl Jam, not really a lot to say about them. I like them okay as a casual listener. It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And I bought this album. I think I found it at Half Price Books or something. I bought this one because it has the song Learning to Fly. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. And I really like that song, so I bought this album. Not, I know his radio stuff when he comes on, like Last Dance with Mary Jane, Free Fallin'. And now I know, what is it? Because I've actually been hearing it on the radio. I don't think they played it on the radio. I think it's Into the Great Wide Open. He's got chains on his jacket that jingle, I think is a line from it. There's a huge crack down the back of this. But yeah, I like Tom Petty all right. I like his radio hits anyway. And I like a few more of the songs on here. Making Some Noise is pretty good. Of course, Learning to Fly, Into the Great Wide Open. He's okay. Classic rock. He voiced Tom Petty voiced Lucky from King of the Hill, and I don't know if very many know that. Very many people know that, but yep, he was the voice of Lucky, who is Luann's boyfriend after Buckley dies. And in one episode, he wants to go see Chicago, I think, so they stand outside the venue for like hours trying to get tickets. He also dances with Luann at her high school prom or some sort of prom, and they dance to what is it, 25 or 6 to 4, I think is that song. But yeah, I like the song Learning to Fly. Is a anime sort of, I don't know what these are even called. They released these for, I guess it would be a soundtrack for the show. This is I wouldn't even call it a soundtrack really. It's only got 2 songs on it. But for Bang Dream, I was at Anime Pop in, what the hell is that town called? It's not Richardson. Addison. And I was at the counter and I saw this, so I bought it because I liked the first season of Bang Dream. Second season I didn't like because they went to CG animation as opposed to 2D. But it's got, I think the theme is Yes Bang Dream, and this one is Poppin' Party. Poppin' Party is the second song, which is their band, is Poppin' Party. It's okay. It's got the lyric version and then instrumental. But I don't know, sometimes it plays on shuffle and sometimes I don't skip it. Not the greatest anime, but I like music, I like anime, so I bought them. The sorting would go Radiohead. I love Radiohead. In John Wolf's video, he likes Bjorn, and he made the comparison is that you either like Radiohead or you don't. Or you get Radiohead or you don't. And he didn't like Radiohead, but he liked Bjorn. And I'm not going to get mad at him for that. Because, I mean, anything after Pablo Honey is a really different sound. Well, I mean, probably not after Pablo Honey. Probably after The Bends. Once they do OK Computer, they start. But that's Radiohead to me. Pablo Honey, I don't think they play any songs from Pablo Honey anymore. I think they say they're ashamed of that because that's what was popular on the radio. Sorry for scratching my boob. I noticed that in the last one. That I did that. But it fucking itches, so. But, yeah, they certainly have a weird sound. And this first one here, I found this at Hastings and was like, that's cool. I don't know if it came, it's Go to Sleep. I don't know if it came with like a special edition of Hail to the Thief, but it has, so this is the sort of thing Hail to the Thief has. This is the cover. It's like a bunch of signs, like business signs. So that's why I think it might have been, it includes 2 exclusive tracks. It might just be its own thing, like a little EP. It's just Radiohead, Go to Sleep. But see, it says CD1. So there was another one somewhere. But, yeah, I found this at Hastings. I don't know if they were supposed to sell it by itself, but I bought it. And it's got Go to Sleep on it. I Am Citizen Insane, which is like Kid A. So if you know Radiohead, you know what Kid A is. But it's like this. Another comparison to make is the Beatles' Revolution 9, where it isn't. This one's more actual melodic than Revolution 9. It actually sounds like music, whereas Revolution 9 is just a bunch of noises. I guess you could call it an art piece. But, and then it's got Fog again, which is live. And I prefer this version of Fog over the original version of Fog. You would just have to listen to it to really know what I'm talking about, but this is my favorite album by Radiohead. This is Kid A. Has the title track Kid A on it, but everything in its right place, the national anthem, How to Disappear Completely, Tree Fingers, In Limbo, man, motion picture soundtrack. Motion picture soundtrack I don't like as much as everything else on here because it has like a 3-minute swath of silence, and normally that means there's a little hidden track, but once the track comes back it's just like a droning sound and that's it. So that's the only reason I don't like it. But it's Radiohead past the Bends is more of a chill sort of melodic band to listen to. Sometimes they get heavy, but more recently, this is a Moon-Shaped Pool. They've definitely, In Rainbows, Moon-Shaped Pool, they definitely got more into that melodic, droning sort of sound. Burn the Witch is the big hit off of this one. I think it got some radio play. Full Stop I really like off of this one. Tinker Tailor Soldier Sailor Rich Man Poor Man Beggar Man Thief is good. But yeah, Radiohead, I like them. I like them a lot. I like them so much, I think my friend group got tired of me liking Radiohead so much, but love Radiohead. Alright, I mentioned this one earlier. It's another band, I think he's just solo. I think he sings with his sister or something. This is Shakey Graves. I discovered him on local radio, 91.7. They played the song Dearly Departed. And I was like, that is a really good song. Again, this is more folk, kind of like of Monsters and Men or the Lumineers. But I heard the song Dearly Departed on the radio, and I was like, I need to get more of that musician. And I like all of these songs on here. Only Son is really good. Dearly Departed is fantastic. Hardwired, Family and Genus. I think it was an Oculus Rift commercial or some like Samsung little virtual reality or augmented reality thing, and they played that song. I was like, holy crap. Someone else discovered that Shakey Graves is a fantastic artist. And one of my brother's friends, I call him Richard, I cannot remember his actual name now, but I think I just asked him, like, oh, what type of music do you listen to? And he said Shakey Graves. I was like, no freaking way. Someone else likes Shakey Graves? I love Shakey Graves. But, yeah, my favorite songs are Dearly Departed, Family and Genus, Hardwired, really good. If you like Of Monsters and Men, if you like Mumford and Sons, the Lumineers, you'll probably like Shakey Graves. I don't know if he's from Nashville, Tennessee, I guess. So a Tennessee musician. This is the soundtrack to Sing. I liked the movie Sing. I really liked Set It All Free. When I saw this movie in theaters, and no, it actually wasn't the Set It All Free. I do like that, but it's from the song she sang with the other one. I Don't Wanna. She does like a scream, like a yeah, and that gave me chills. That note gave me chills. So I bought the soundtrack. and it's an okay soundtrack. I like Faith, Stevie Wonder featuring Ariana Grande. Give Me Some Lovin'. I like that song. It's not any of the cast in the movie singing it, but I don't like any of Seth MacFarlane's songs on here. He does the crooner thing, like old Blue Eyes, whatever his actual name is. Can't remember. But I like old Reese Witherspoon's rendition of Shake It Off. I'm Still Standing by Taron Egerton, which I think is the dude from The Kingsman. I like that song. But it's an okay soundtrack. I have not seen the second one, but I thought this one was decent enough to buy the actual album. So next we have the Silver Sun Pickups. They're another band like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs or heck, even Naked and Famous. They're kind of similar to them. These are they're a lot heavier. I actually went and saw them in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were my most recent concert, and they were so loud that I could not hear in my right ear for a few days. But this is our first album. If you don't know Silver Sun Pickups, you've probably heard the song Lazy Eye play on the radio. I think that's probably their most well-known song. Yeah, they're kind of electronic, kind of... they're an alternative band that... I don't know, they're kind of hard to describe. They're a lot like the Naked and Famous. They use a lot of electronic sounds, but heavier guitars and thick bass lines. I thought for the longest time that the lead singer of this band was female. The backup singer is female, the bass player, but the lead singer is male, and he has a very distinct singing voice. He sings, I wouldn't say it's falsetto. I guess it would be. Kind of like Matt Bellamy from Muse, but yeah, I thought he was female. I apologize for that. And when I went and saw him in concert, I didn't think he looked like that. He's, I don't know, I pictured him like scrawny. But, you know, he's an average built man with a beard. But cool nonetheless. And this, I think they've got a new album out now, but this is the most recent one I've bought. This is Willow's Weeds. Lazy Eye is my favorite song off of this one. This is Carnivos, their first album. But I guess I'll talk about some more songs on here. Melatonin is a good song. Checkered Floor. Little Lover, So Polite. Common Reactor. Those are really good. And of course, Lazy Eye. So I didn't notice, but I reached the recording limit on the camera. So I was talking about favorite songs off of Carnivos. So this one is Silver Sun Pickup's second album, Willow's Weeds, and it's a pretty good album. It's the most recent one I got. I don't know if they've released anything since. I think so, but Freakazoid's really good. Straw Man, Bag of Bones, Simpatico has sort of a Spanish twang to it. It Doesn't Matter Why is it's kind of like Cage the Elephant in one ear. It seems to take a jab at music critics. But yeah, I like Silver Sun Pickups. Wish I would have stayed for the full show, but it was really hot and I felt sick. I have since redeemed that and actually went and saw them in Oklahoma. They had two bands that opened for them, and I apologize, I can't remember them, but they were good. One of them was a local Oklahoma band. I think, like... Now I can't think of it. I don't want to embarrass myself. I could look it up, but... So this one, I don't really have much to say about. This is the score from BioShock 2, Sounds from the Lighthouse. I bought the special edition It came with this CD and a sealed record. I say sealed because I do still have it sealed. It came with a record of the same soundtrack. It's got some pretty okay listens. It's all instrumental, all orchestral. The opening song, the Parabond, Bioshock 2 theme, the menu music for multiplayer, the Waking Up in 1959, and the last song, Eleanor's Lullaby, is actually really good. But most of the songs are like screeching violins and cellos because it's not really a scary game, but it tries to be. I like Bioshock 2 alright. Most people didn't like Bioshock 2, but I thought it was a pretty decent game. I beat it in one day when I first got it. Played it all day long. Have Steven Tyler's... Oh, I don't know if he's got more solo work, but this is the solo album I bought, and it's more of a country album. Which it ain't bad. I like it. I like a lot of the songs on here. My Own Worst Enemy. We're All Somebody from Somewhere is a little heavy-handed in the message it's trying to portray, but whatever. It Ain't Easy is really good. I really love Make My Own Sunshine. He also does more of a country version of Janie's Got a Gun, and he covers Piece of My Heart by what is her name? Janis Joplin. But yeah, it's a pretty good, Red, White, and You sounds like it was written by Luke Bryan, but it's alright. Not my favorite on the album, but I get what he was trying to do. But it's a pretty good album from Steven Tyler. If you like Aerosmith, check it out. Or if you like country and you don't know who Steven Tyler is, it's a pretty decent foray into country. I mean, Aerosmith's more of a blues band, so it's kind of got country twang to it anyways, but he definitely went full country on this one. At least modern country. Finishing off that stack, it's not the full shelf, but just that stack. This is Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know if they've done an album. This might have been their last album they've done. This is with their new lead singer that replaced, it's the lead singer of Linkin Park. Oh my god, how have I forgotten his name? 1 second, that I will. Well, Google's going to take forever to load. Fuck. Chester Bennington. I knew it would pop up eventually. So after Scott Weiss, I don't think he had died. I think they kicked him from the band. I think that's his name. Hold on now. Scott Weiland. Sorry, it's Scott Weiland. Yeah. Scott Weiland. After Scott Weiland was ousted from the band, Chester Bennington took over for one album, and then Chester Bennington committed suicide. Or I don't know if that was at the same time that... I think maybe he was just, he was an in-between. And then I think his name is James Gutt is the new lead singer. Let's see. It's Jay Gutt. Let's see here. It's either James or Jeff. James Gutt became their new lead singer. I don't know the exact timeline. Chester Bennington has since committed suicide. But it might be Jeff. Jeff Gutt. Anyway, he's a decent lead singer. He sounds a lot like Scott Weiland. And I went and saw Stone Temple Pilots in Oklahoma as well. Dirty Hooks opened for them. And I believe the guitarist made the comment that when Jeff had come into audition for the lead singer. He did. I think he said he did Dead and Bloated, and that's a pretty difficult song to sing, I guess, compared to Scott Weiland's vocals. And he was impressed that he pulled it off. But off of this album, Meadow was the big radio hit. I like it. I like Jeff Gutt. If they have done more albums since, I'll need to get them. Red and Blues is really good. Roll Me Under. The Art of Letting Go. A lot of these songs took a more somber approach. Meadow is probably the rockiest song on here, but it's a fantastic album. Because I think Stone Temple Pilots, the Chester Bennington, I can't remember what it's called, Black Eyes or something. That one, it wasn't really Stone Temple Pilots. You can definitely hear Chester Bennington in it. He did a fantastic job. The songs were pretty decent, but Forget Forever is also good. It's a bonus track on here. But I think the album before that is also Stone Temple Pilots, which ruined my fucking media player thing because they're both named Stone Temple Pilots. So it ended up putting that fucking the previous just self-titled album in with this one, and it's just a mess. But I think that came out in like 2009 or something. And then this came out in 2018. Let's see. Again, I could be talking out my ass. Where are you? So that Chester Bennington one was High Rise, was the name of that one. So, Stone Temple Pilots. Is it another one that is sorted by the Stone Temple Pilots and Stone Temple Pilots? Or I just don't... Oh, no, because it put it into the fucking 2018 version, so I can't even look. Or maybe I just didn't put that on here because that one wasn't a great album anyways. I think Rumble, Tumble, or Ramble, Thamble, something like that. It's got alliteration like that. It was probably the best song. But yeah, Stone Temple Pilots. Their debut album, Core, is really good. If you like grunge, you'll like that one. Purple is alright. It's got the Interstate Love song on it. I think this one is probably one of their better ones. It's probably, I would probably do Core, Purple, and then this one, and then everything else is decent. The Shangri-La-Di-Da, and then that other Stone Temple Pilots one, it's a peace sign on the cover. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if you didn't listen to them. Next up, we have Tally Hall, which is another band I mentioned in my top 5 bands that don't get enough recognition. Oh, it does have the CD. It fucking blends in with the damn, this like alternating white and black thing though. But yeah, Tally Hall, they've only got 2 albums. They're like an internet band. Their first album was actually signed with Capitol Records. It's got sort of a a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club band. It's Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, which is an actual museum in their hometown. This one is Quack Media. I don't know if that's their own label or what, but Tally Hall. I heard the song. No, it wasn't Greener. It was dang. I think it was Good Day. Good Day was the first song I heard from them. This was around the time I started watching Good Mythical Morning, so it recommended that song to me for some reason, and I really liked it. So I bought the album, heard the song Greener. Welcome to Tally Hall is really good. And then I think once I bought that, I discovered they had a second album. So I bought it. It's their last album. They haven't done anything since 2011. Um, and this one is pretty good. This one is Good and Evil. Um, Never Meant to Know is pretty good. Cannibal is probably my favorite song off of here. Hymn for a Scarecrow kind of has a Bohemian Rhapsody sort of thing where it changes tempo and such a few times throughout the song. Turn the Lights Off is really weird. Yeah, it's a good song. Or it's a good album. Tally Hall is a good band. If you like the Beatles, Tally Hall classifies themselves as Fab Lou, which I can only think is like a Beatles-esque. But yeah, if you like the Beatles, you'll probably like Tally Hall. So check them out. They used to have a YouTube channel, Tally Hall's Internet Show. Obviously, they haven't done anything on that in a while. Next up is like my favorite band of all time. I think I've said that for a few of them, but as you can see by this pretty big album collection here, I like them a lot. I would have as many for Radiohead as well, but like I said previously, I traded in a lot of my albums to buy more. Toadies, however, did not get that same treatment. I did buy this one twice, but I bought all these and learned my lesson at that point. Don't sell your CDs. This one is the 20th anniversary of Rubberneck, so it came with this guitar pick that I've left in there. This is the Toadies. They are a Fort Worth, Texas band, and this is their first album, Rubberneck. Came out, this one was re-released in 2014, but I think, so if it's the 20th anniversary, it would be 1994 when this originally came out. I would not classify them as grunge. They have their own sound. It is Toadies' sound. I used to not like the first song, Mexican Hairless, off of this. It's an instrumental. But after seeing them at Dia de los Toadies, I love that song. It's a fucking thrasher. Mr. Love is really good. Backslider, you've probably heard on the radio. Possum Kingdom, Away, I Come From the Water, Tyler. Those are their singles. But yeah, Toadies, love them. So the 20th anniversary also came with some unreleased songs. Run In with Dad is about him getting caught masturbating. Stop It is a good song. Rockfish is another instrumental. And then they've got 2 demo versions, Possum Kingdom and Tyler, which are pretty cool. Also, another lead singer I didn't... Dude, by his voice and the way he sings, I didn't picture him to look like that. He looks like... I think he looks like not Scott the Woz. He's some internet person. He's got thick framed glasses. I think he's a tech guru or tech reviewer or something. He looks unassuming, is what I'm trying to say. Their second album, No Deliverance. It's actually not the second album they did. The second one they did was Feeler. But they shelved this one and released No Deliverance. I like this one too. It's definitely not... It's not my favorite. Rubberneck is also not my favorite. It's got fantastic songs on it, but Song I Hate is really good. Hell in High Water. Don't Go My Way. I Want Your Love. I like all of the songs. I like all of Toadie's songs. I just like some more than others. No Deliverance, they're rocking. I don't think I ever skip a Toadie song anytime it comes on. Hell Below, Stars Above is my favorite Toadie song. I love every single song on here. Plane Crash is probably the weakest. But Push the Hand, Little Sin, Motivational, Heal. But my favorite song is Doll Skin. Holy crap, that's a good song. When I saw them live, I saw how he makes this sort of like harp sound, and he mutes his strings and hits the strings at the top near the tuning heads. My God, Doll Skin is a good song. Jigsaw Girl is also good. It's very similar to Tyler, where it's really creepy. It's about him keeping pieces of a girl so she can stay with him forever. Hence the name Jigsaw Girl. But love this album. So if you want to check out Toadies, you've never heard them before, I highly recommend this one. Rubberneck, of course, has all their biggest hits, but man, this one is a fantastic album. So next up, like I said, Feeler. It was a album they were supposed to release way back when, and I guess they released later. This one came out in 2010. This one's decent. Pink is probably my favorite song off of here. City of Hate is really good. It's got, anytime I'm at work and we get automatic transmission fluid in, I sing ATF. There's like an instrumental sort of song on here called the ATF theme. This one's an okay album. They are all still good songs because it's Toadies, but definitely no Hell Below, Stars Above, or even Rubberneck. I can see why they sort of shelved this one. This one is Play Rock Music. I bought this off of Amazon. It didn't have the little... This is what it's supposed to look like. It's got 4 dolls. Play Rock Music. It's pink. But, alas. Again, not their best. This is sort of, this is late Toadies, 2012. Rattler's Revival is pretty good. It's got a real southern sort of style to it. Sunshine's good. We Burned the City Down. I really like that one. The Appeal is probably close to Doll Skin in that it's slower. Epic Castles I really enjoy. Sunshine, stay a while with me, let me hold your hand. So this is Heretics. There's a few new songs on this, but this is more of an acoustic sort of album. They redid a lot of their songs, just unplugged. In the Belly of the Whale is a new song. Queen of Scars. They also did a really, really fantastic cover of Blondie's Heart of Glass. Love this version of Heart of Glass. But yeah, most of them, they did an acoustic version of Doll Skin. Nowhere near as good as the original. Send You to Heaven is another new song. But yeah, this one's alright. I really only wanted it for the new songs, but I bought it because it's Toadies. And Toadies played... It's a weird one because I had it upside down. Toadies played when they rebuilt the Ranger Stadium. They have Texas Live over there, and Toadies played there. And I bought this CD. I didn't even know they had a new CD out. And this came out in 2017, and I think that show was like 2018. Didn't even know. But this was their newest album. When I Die is the opening song. I really like Human Cannibal. They did a cover of I Put a Spell on You. Broke Down Stupid's pretty good. Polly Jean. You Know the Words. Again, it's Toadies. They're all good songs. They're just not Hell Below, Stars Above level good. But really like the Toadies. If you like grunge, you'll probably like the Toadies, though they aren't really grunge. They are their own sound. If you want to start listening to the Toadies, again, I recommend Hell Below, Stars Above, or their first album, Rubberneck. So that was a big portion of this stack. Next up, this is the soundtrack to the anime series Monogatari. And compared to the other soundtracks I've bought, this is like genuine music. You may know the meme song. What is it called? Let's see. I don't think they have any of the track names. Dang, it's in Japanese, so I don't fucking know it. Let me see if I can find out somehow. I think it's going to be on this one, because that's Nadeko Sengoku. If you've never seen the anime Monogatari, any of the Monogatari series, I think this is a Blu-ray. Why are they like this? This is the first CD disc. Something circulation. I'll show you there. It's kanji. Wait, no, it's over here. Sorry. It's kanji here. Trying to figure out where the frame is. And then circulation there. It's a meme song. It does the like people like to do it when someone gets hit. It's got this little cheery opening. Someone hits a sign or gets punched in the face, and then the meme starts. That's what this is from. I think there's also like a little John Wolfe thing where they do the disco song as well. But yeah, I would classify this as actual music. Aniplex released it. Love a lot of the songs on here. My favorite is Staples Stable. I think I put those out of order. The pink one's supposed to be there first. But all of these songs are... So each little arc changes the opening theme and the closing theme. So each one has its own little theme song, and they're all pretty good songs. I'd have to say my least favorite is when that old dude starts working with Hitagi here, or Senjo Gahara-san. I don't like that theme. It like does a little 80s throwback to 80s anime. Not my favorite, but everything else is really, really good. I think I bought this off of Amazon. Monogatari series theme songs compilation album. But yeah, if you've never seen the Monogatari series, watch it and buy the album. It's all in Japanese, but all really good music. Pop. It's like Japanese pop. It's crazy the amount of production that went into that series. Alright, so next up we have The Vines. This is their second album, Melodia or Melodia, however you want to pronounce it. Their first album, I think, is... I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a little waterfall sort of scene. I like The Vines alright. They've got a more kind of like the Hives or Jet sort of sound. Let's see. Their first album is on with all the hits. I like Animal Machine. Is that on this one? I think that's the first one. Animal Machine. Let me just double check here. Again, don't want to be talking out my ass. It's got the song, I think it's called Getaway. Highly Evolved is the name of the first album. Out of the Way, I really like, and Get Free. Animal Machine is not on that one. Which one is Animal Machine on? Is it on? It's Winning Days. Winning Days has Animal Machine on it. That one's my favorite Vine song, is Animal Machine. That one's got a grungy sort of sound. But yeah, the first album, Highly Evolved, had Out of the Way, Get Free. I liked Out of the Way probably the best. But yeah, they're like I don't know, early 2000s sort of alternative. Not really the Foo Fighters. He's a Rocker. It's a pretty good song. Get Out. Definitely not my favorite album. The only reason I have this is Hastings wouldn't buy it back, so I was stuck with it. And they couldn't buy this one because I think this is like UK only. When I bought this off of Amazon, I guess this is a UK version. But this is Future Primitive. I like the song Future Primitive on here. It's a weird sort of OK Computer sounding song. Also, throughout their albums, I think they started on Highly Evolved, Autumn Shade. They did an Autumn Shade 2, Autumn Shade 3, and then on here is Autumn Shade 4. The shtick got a little old. Oh, man. So like I was saying, with Autumn Shade, the shtick kind of got old after 2, but the songs on here, Candy Flippin' Girl is pretty good. Screw the World is alright. But definitely not my favorite. But if you like Jet or Oasis or anything like that, you'll probably like the Vines. Their newest album is probably my favorite. It's actually a really good album. I think it's still the same lead singer. I think he has Asperger's. And they say he's been difficult to deal with, but I like his singing voice, so I don't know. But the Vines. Okie dokie. Next up, we have Volbeat, which is probably the heaviest heaviest band I listen to. It's probably the heaviest band I listen to. And this is Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood. I think their first album is... Let me go ahead and just pull them up as opposed to just struggling to remember. They should be down here with Vines anyways. Beyond Hell, Above Heaven. That's got the song Heaven Nor Hell on it. And that's probably their biggest radio hit. I like Volbeat. He's got a very distinct singing voice, and that's probably why people really don't like him. But I like Volbeat. On their first album, Beyond Hell, Above Heaven, apparently they used to be like a heavy... I think they're Icelandic or Nordic. But they used to be a heavy metal, Nordic, Icelandic band. They used to do thrash metal, and off of Beyond Hell, Above Heaven... They have a song, Evelyn, which is the heaviest song that I've heard them ever do. They have more of a sort of like country western twang to them, and I really like it. Like the Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood, Mary Ann's Place, Still Countin' has sort of like a Fistful of Dollars sort of theme to it. I'm So Lonesome I Can Cry. It sounds like a fucking Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley song, but I really like that one. That's off of this album, by the way. But yeah, I like Volbeat. I like his voice. It fits the style of music he's doing. And Heaven or Hell that's a song I heard that got me into Volbeat. But I really like them. Thanks off of their first album is really good. It sounds like it's giving thanks to the people that listen to their music. So I always like listening to that one. Hangman's Body Count off of Outlawed Gentlemen and Shady Ladies is really good. So is The Lonesome Rider. He does a duet with somebody. I don't know who it is. But yeah, I like Volbeat. If you like metal, but with more of a country western twang, you'll probably like Volbeat. They have a new album out that I need to get. I heard one song off of it, and it's pretty good. This is another Vocaloid band, but this one does the intro. I don't know who this... Let's see. Am I going to make a fool of myself? I think it's just called Vocaloid. Yeah, because it's a Vocaloido uh, anime or ani no kappa. I don't know. Probably anime covers is what that says. But yeah, so it's Vocaloid, and they did a lot of anime opening themes. It's got Only My Railgun from Certain Scientific Railgun. It has the theme to Toradora on here, which is probably my favorite song off of this. Um, Changes is a really good song. I don't know what anime that is, but it's good. Orenji is the theme to Toradora. That's one of my favorite songs off of here. But yeah, just another Vocaloid thing, kind of like Hatsune Miku. Again, I was standing in line at Anime Pop and saw this. They had two versions. One had these girls on it, and the other one had male Vocaloids. So I'm guessing it was all male anime themes, but pretty good. Not the best, but it's pretty good. I'll listen to the songs when they come on shuffle. All right, so we got a big old stack here, and these are actually the last two bands of my CD collection. So this one here is Weezer, and I am not the biggest fan of Weezer. Don't let the fucking big ass CD collection fool you. I like them okay. The reason I did this is I had plans to do a video where I listened to every Weezer album and pick the best songs, because the biggest argument about Weezer is that after Pinkerton, Weezer sucks. And I was like, well, that isn't true. I like their album Hurley okay. I like the song Trainwrecks off of it. And, you know, the Red album has Pork and Beans, Troublemaker, Let Everybody Get Dangerous. But I was like, I'm going to buy every album, and I'm going to pick at least one good song off of it to say that Weezer doesn't suck. This is their first album, the Blue Album. This is their most successful. My Name is Jonas, and it's a good album. I would actually say that Maladroit is probably my favorite Weezer album, but this one's pretty good. My Name is Jonas is a really good song. Buddy Holly gets a lot of airplay. Undone, the Sweater song, gets a lot of airplay. Surf Wax America is pretty good. Say It Ain't So gets a lot of airplay. I think this one might be too mainstream for me now. I do not have Pinkerton. I've got the album after Pinkerton, their third one. And I can see the difference in sound. This CD is just rattling around in here. It's not the Blue Album. It's not. But again, bands change their sound. Maybe Weezer's the meme band now, but Hash Pipe I like Hash Pipe. Island in the Sun is okay, but not the greatest. Maladroit, I like a lot of the songs off here. These are more heavier, more similar to the Blue Album. This one's got the song Dope Nose, which was their big radio hit. Let's see. See, this is another one where I just listen to on repeat. I don't, or just listen to it when it comes on shuffle. I don't know any of the songs off of here except Dope Nose. But I liked the sound alright. I just don't know any of the names of them. And then you got the Red Album. Pork and Beans, Troublemaker. This one's okay. I think Pork and Beans is probably the best song off of it. I like Troublemaker. I can see that being in like a 2000s movie opener. And then we start getting into stuff that I really haven't listened to. This is their White album. The song, I think it's California Kids, or is it Thank God for Girls? One of these is on Rock Band 4, and I didn't like it. So I remember when this came out, and I was like, I'm not even gonna get that because that song on Rock Band 4 sucked. Uh, I only listened to this once. These remaining ones I've only listened to once. Um, I know my favorite song off of Ratitude. But no, it's King of the World. King of the World is on Rock Band 4, and I was not impressed. So when this came out, I didn't want it. But I bought it because I was trying to do that video. Ratitude is probably people's least favorite album. Um, if you're wondering if I Want You To, I Want You To is probably their biggest hit. But I like Can't Stop Partying. Because, I don't know, I think Weezer, they like to mess around. Judging by their Teal album, it's kind of clear that they like to joke around. So I like Can't Stop Partying because I think it's a joke. But this one's okay. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say it's okay. I don't hate it. But, yeah, I think out of these last ones, the Black Album is probably my least favorite. I struggled to find one that I liked on here when I was listening to it. I of course was playing Forza Horizon 5 while listening to all of this Weezer, and of course I couldn't do the video because I'm missing 2 albums, Van Weezer and I think Hello OK or Okay Hello or something like that is their most recent album. And I can't remember any songs off of this one either. There's a song on here called Quarterback Blitz. But yeah, I think out of all of these, I think I disliked the Black Album the most. I don't think I liked a single song on here. I really struggled. I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to do this video because I don't know. I don't like a song off of this one. But yeah, Weezer, they're kind of memey. I like the song Trainwrecks off of Hurley. That's probably my favorite Weezer song. I like My Name is Jonas off of the Blue Album. I like Dope Nose. I like Hash Pipe. They're not my favorite band, but they're okay. The stack is precarious. Alright. The last band I have in my CD collection is the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. This is my favorite album by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. This is Show Me Your Bones or Show Your Bones. It's got Gold Lion on it. They did a remix of that song you've probably heard. But I like Gold Lion. I like Warrior. I like Phenomena. Honey Bear's pretty good. The Yeah Yeah Yeahs, the first album, the song Maps was on Rock Band 1. And that song is kind of chill. So I thought, oh, this is going to be a chill band like of Monsters and Men. So I bought it. And that first album, Fever to Tell, is not chill. Not any whatsoever. So I was really surprised. But I did like it enough. Fever to Tell on that album is good. Maps is good. I think it's called Pin or Push the Pin is pretty good. I think this is their second album, Show Your Bones. And then their third album has a mosquito on it. Let's see. Oh, no. Their second album was It's Blitz, which has Heads Will Roll, probably their most well-known song. Date with a Night's pretty good, too, off of their first album, Fever to Tell. Mosquito is the name of that album. That one is not really all that good. But Show Your Bones is really good. Fancy's pretty good off of this album too. Gonna Get Fancy. But yeah, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Pretty decent. This came from Cuyahoga County Public Library from Parma, Ohio. Bought this off of Amazon as well. I didn't steal it from an Ohioan library. And with that, that concludes my CD collection. The last one I didn't really have a lot to talk about. I like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs alright. I used to know her name. Now I don't. But that is my CD collection. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to have to edit a little bit out because Uniqua kept jumping in front of the camera. I'm sorry that my view is my fat body. I am kind of off put by that, but I will suffer through it. I like music. I like having a physical collection. I've got bunches of games back here too. I don't really like using YouTube Music for the reason that when I imported all of my music over to YouTube Music from the Google Play Music thing, a few of my Beatles songs were covers, and my brother made it clear to me is that, yeah, they came off of my computer from CDs and such that I've ripped, but YouTube Music doesn't have the license for it, so I guess they just were like, here, that's good enough, and it wasn't, so I didn't do that. I still have an MP3 player. I have a Zune that I still listen to my music on, which that's crazy, but I like having physical media. John Wolfe, when he did his video, he was saying goodbye to most of his collection, and I just wanted to show my collection because I do like music. I liked watching his video just to know the type of music he listened to. I liked knowing that he had a few bands that we had similar tastes in. He was a lot more metal, but nonetheless, I like videos of this nature, of watching people's collections or whatever, finding out what they like. So I thought I'd just try my hand at it as well. But if you like music, if you like any of the bands I mentioned, leave a comment. Say what band's your favorite, or give me recommendations for music. I still like finding new music and stuff. If any of the bands I mentioned have got new albums out, leave comments about that too. Though I can Google it, it's more fun to have audience interaction. Plus, it does better on YouTube. So, bonus. But, yeah, if you liked this video, I can recommend the top 5 bands that don't get enough recognition, though it's going to be kind of similar. Though I do play snippets of music from that. Yeah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check back next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye!